Yo, what's going on, people? It's been a busy start to the week, and we are live. We missed the last 2 weeks, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, man. I'm sure. Raw last night, obviously. TNA has just announced that they have a TV deal. Feels like that rumor's been going around for a long time. They finally got it over the line, and yeah, man. Thursday nights, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern, a little bit later than the usual start times for the wrestling shows, but they got the TV deal, man. One of the reports says $30 million deal, multi-year deal, of course. So not too much more details out right now. There's a lot to go on. We're gonna get into it, of course. We're gonna get into it. Whatever you guys want to talk about as well. AEW, the C2 is underway as well, so it's always a good time of year for AEW. But yeah, man, myself, Phil Lindsay, here to chill out with you guys for a little bit. What's going on, Phil? You good? And unmute, bro. Unmute, bro. I told him just before we went live as well. Boom. There you go. What's going on, Phil? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Just saw the news that legend Larry passed away. Sad
Oh,
news
man.
for the Punk
No,
family.
no,
I
no.
know how much you love that dog, so hopefully, he and AJ are in good spirits. It's a real bummer.
Yeah, man. Like you said, they love that. They love that dog like their little child. He kind of was. He was their little child, but little Larry. All the wrestling fans knew Larry. He'd bring it to shows. He was always. He adored that thing, man. That dog. But so yeah, condolences to AJ, to Punk, and everyone else that loved Larry. But yeah, before we dive into everything, don't forget to like, subscribe. You can of course always send your super chats, any questions, any takes, anything you want us to get into real quick, or yeah, man, if you guys just want to get involved in the convo, just get the live chats in. So where do we start? Okay, so WWE. I guess we'll start off, of course, Raw last night, Survivor Series this past weekend. Survivor Series was a show that happened. It was one of the shows of all time. Like, it was one of those. Um, where do you even start with Survivor Series? Just initial reactions, Phil. Sum it up in a sentence or something. How did you feel coming out of the show? Was you let down? Was you not expecting much? Because the fans, it was not received well by most.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good show. Um, I just think they've got to change their approach to Survivor Series, man. I think that the War Games stipulation added something interesting when they started doing it because it was something new, and now it's
Mm.
gotten to the point where it just feels stale. It feels like they just do it for the sake of doing it now, and I think that they should do it when they have a story that justifies it.
What do you think of the idea that I've seen thrown around of one? So you have the men do the war games 1 year, and the women do an elimination tag the 1 year, and then you swap it the next year. So the next year the men will do the elimination tag, and the women do the war games match. Because I think that seems like they're very much in love with the idea of war games Survivor Series, at least for the next few years. I don't see them changing that. So I think that's I think you could maybe do something like that without kind of doing the overkill that it feels like we're getting dangerously close to now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That could work, but I still think the issue is that it just feels like they do war games for the sake of doing war games now. It doesn't feel
They
like
do.
they're necessary, man. It doesn't feel like the women's in particular this year. I was really looking around like, okay, this could have just been a 5v5 elimination match.
I mean, it pretty much was, except for the elimination aspect of it. It was a very, very polite cage match. It was, especially for the fans of both of the big two companies, a few weeks after Blood and Guts. It's kind of like, not that that sets the bar, because you're gonna get two different matches, even though like they're very similar in stipulation. Um, it was Again, it was very polite. It was very polite, especially both of them, man. It wasn't even just the women's one, the women's, the men's, like both. I know Punk got a little bit of colour in the men's one, but it's like we also got a yeet. We also had to yeet halfway through the match as well, so there was that as well. So it's yeah, man. It's and as Phil kind of highlighted as well, man. Like neither of those feuds really called for war games in that current
No,
moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's yeah, man. Neither of those matches really had many highlights. You know, Io did her trash can dive off the cage, of course, as always. You know, AJ Lee tapped out Becky Lynch, so we'll see where that leads. On the men's side, we kind of already got a good idea of where that's going to lead with Bron Breakker pinning CM Punk in that match. Of course, we don't know who not the masked, well, the masked hooded man who helped the heels win in War Games. So I think most people assume that it's Austin Theory. I believe there's already been reports that it's Austin Theory. So you know, sorry if I spoiled that for anybody. I didn't throw out a spoiler alert or anything on there, but you know, assumptions are assumptions, reports are reports. You know, it's not like anybody in WWE's directly told me. Don't know for sure, but that's the assumption. Austin Theory. Do you
yeah.
think it's a good fit for him? Like, what? What
I
are you
mean,
saying?
I think that he fits with the vision in terms of the fact that he has like history with Seth Rollins. So
I
I
mean,
know, I don't
yeah,
know. We can see
I
where that
guess,
goes, but
I guess.
yeah, I coming away from the pay per view, I was just like, this company has got to do something. No, I think that there are too many things that they are complacent with. There are too many things that are popular, and they know it's popular, so they've run it into the ground. Like, uh, sorry, is it echoing for you too, or is it just me?
I think it's just you, bro. It's all good on my end. Um, what about now?
Okay,
You good?
no, I don't hear it anymore.
Okay, beautiful.
All right, but yeah, so yeah, I think that they've got too many things that they know are popular, like Jay's entrance, and they've just run it into the ground. Like having him do the entrance again in the middle of the War Games match just completely took me out of it. I just and I know, it's wrestling. These things are supposed to be kind of kooky, but this was just way too silly to me. And right in the middle of this match that's supposed to be this serious blood feud, and he's doing his entrance. It felt really dopey. Even like EO's trash can spot this year, we've seen it 3 years in a row now, man. It's like, and she's great. I think she was great throughout this match, but just do something new. Put some new people in these matches. We've seen the same few wrestlers in these matches every year. Add a new theme song. Do we need War Pigs every year? Just do some new things. Even when the hooded figure came out, I was like, again, just do something else, man. God, goodness gracious, man.
Yeah, they're super complacent at the moment, bro. Especially especially with a show like this where it's a big show and they know they can just throw a bunch of star power in these matches. I think as the results we got this weekend is just proof of their complacency, really. Um, yeah, the War Pigs are let slide this year. Out of all the things that Phil highlighted, we lost Ozzy this year, and that's my dog.
Eh, I mean, look, the War Pigs thing
I
isn't
hear
a
you
big
though.
it isn't a big deal in a vacuum, but I think it's just a part of the feeling that
No, 100%
everything about this show was very formulaic. It's the same. It feels like it's the same show that they put on
autopilot.
last year. Yeah, exactly. It feels like everything's on autopilot.
Yeah, man. And even at the end, the Roman and the Cody tensions, and it's like, alright, bro. Just,
Boy, I have no
oh,
interest in Cody Roman 3. I feel like that's where we're going though. Um, I'm sorry. I know one of our usual chatters has their agenda. It's not looking good for your agenda, buddy. Doesn't feel
yeah,
like we're
it's not
getting.
looking good, buddy.
It doesn't feel like we're getting Punk Cody.
I think he accepted it though. He doesn't seem to be in the chat though, Razor, but I think he's accepted it. I'm sure a couple weeks ago, but yeah, Roman Cody, man. Also, like when they were doing all like the tension and stuff, like he just didn't feel that big. He didn't feel as big as
No.
even it should. And even in considering how kind of much I rolled my eyes at it, kind of thing as well. Like just even trying to ignore that, it's like he didn't feel that big, even though like it should, like that's the big two, bro. It's Cody and Roman, and there was definitely a lot of demand for that third match once upon a time, and it made me wonder like what was the point where fans kind of like, I guess, kind of like almost like gave up on that idea, got bored of that idea, because of course after people wanted to see Cody Roman free, maybe Cody go over, solidify him as the guy, We know Roman Reigns is transitioning into a different part of his career these days, so we assume, obviously he's not around every week. That's been a while. He's around
Yeah.
less and less and less every year. So, but and now we're just kind of like getting it. They've just kind of like gave it to us, and like we assume they're giving it to us from the teases and stuff in the War Games match, and kind of the recent reports of like they want to get far ahead with like the teasing and the building and the storylines for WrestleMania with War Games and all this and that. So, but yeah, you don't really feel like something that's in demand, and
No, I think part of it is that they started teasing other things, and it's just like, okay, well, where are we going to get these things? You teased a Rock match that is seemingly never going to happen.
That's never happened.
Maybe they'll dust it off for the Saudi Mania year after next.
Nasty, nasty.
Yeah, which would be oof.
How much do you think they'd pay Dwayne for that
They've got to be ready to roll a
turkey?
brink truck out in front of them. But yeah, then you also have this build for Cody Punk that they've done every year going into the Royal Rumble, and they haven't really paid that off yet. And then the biggest elephant here, because Seth got injured, is you've really spent the entirety of 2025 building up to Seth Rollins versus Roman. That's now not going to happen. And it doesn't feel like he's going to get any comeuppance with division. It just seems like he's just going to move on to another opponent. I don't know that makes a ton of sense either, but it seems like that's where we're heading. I mean, if it were me, I think that Braun should just beat Punk in January, and I think the match should be Braun versus Roman. I think that makes a lot more sense, but I think that they're going to go for the big match, which is Cody Roman.
Yeah, the Seth stuff obviously we don't know, but it's kind of it's looking, it's hard to kind of see where he fits, because I think most are hoping at least that he'll be back for Mania, to be on Mania, like will he make the Rumble? Probably not. Blah 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 blah. We don't know, but I think most people assume and hope that he will be on WrestleMania. So yeah, like they've got to pay off the vision thing. Like they have to. Like that has to be the thing that he does. But it's like, how does he do that? Does he just wrestle like Bronson Reed? But that don't, like Bron Breakker was the one, bro. So it's like you have to do. It has to be him, Or they're gonna do that thing what they do where they just kind of like cheat around it and he'll feud Paul Heyman. Like he'll feud Paul Heyman and whatever new goons. If that's Austin Theory, obviously the Bronson Reed, and they'll get to Bron Breakker when they get to Bron Breakker. Logan Paul again. Seth's already wrestled Logan. I just I don't know. It's the Cody Roman thing would be. I hope it's a red herring. Like bro, I'll take Roman Punk, I'll take that, But obviously that doesn't seem to be the way, because they've already teased the Cody Roman thing, and obviously CM Punk is he's occupied with Bron Breakker till at least early January, So and obviously Roman's already doing his like world title teases and blah 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 blah. It's just, I don't know, man. So even Friday or last Monday when they did the promo and Roman was like, that title would look good on me. Like most people were hoping he was talking about Punk, bro. Like I didn't really see many people like, yeah, Cody Roman free. I got Cody, I got Roman, or because that was kind of like the thing, wasn't it? Because it was 1A and 1B, and you know what I mean. There was like a decent split in the fan base, but like I don't feel that animosity between Cody and Roman fans anymore. It's not as exciting, bro.
No, I think that the big glaring thing here is Roman interested in a belt that he throughout the build to WrestleMania 40 called a second place trophy.
Hey man, I think if he's winning it in the main event of night 2, I don't think he would care, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think he has just gone to those guys and said, "Listen, you know what time is, you know." he's you know, he's looking out for the family, you know. I wonder what where does Jay fall into WrestleMania as well, you know? Because like
Listen,
as fans, it's not really someone that we're like long term fantasy booking and stuff like that. But at the same time, he's obviously going to be in a pretty highly featured spot on WrestleMania because it's Jey Uso and that's where they're at with him now, you know? So where did like last year he was in the world title match. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not like we can disregard him. It's like we have to think
yeah.
about the Jey Uso factor, and obviously he's going on quite an interesting arc character-wise at the moment. So, you know, would it be a heel Jey Uso that we're talking about? You know,
Why on earth
WrestleMania?
would you turn this guy heel at this point? That makes no sense. Yeah, listen, it was a fun ride. He got a Royal Rumble win. A lot of ups and downs of this year, but that tag rope is right there, man. It's time. It's time, man. Get the Usos back together. It's time, man. I don't know why they would do this Lucha Bros reunion off WWE TV in a backstage segment for AAA, but I think that's the match. If you're gonna do a big tag match at WrestleMania, the Usos versus the Lucha Bros makes a ton of sense.
Yeah,
At
that'd be
least from
good.
the sense that it's a big dream match, but yeah. All of the
No,
things I would
100%.
like to see Jay do there is tag related.
I don't think there'll be a pitch better than that I see between, well, now 2nd of December and WrestleMania. To be honest, it just works, man. Like you said, it's time for Jade to grab the tag rope. You know, Jimmy as well. You know, it's just. And also, you gotta think, bro. Like before they split up, you gotta think like that run. Like you can put the Roman tax, the Bloodline tax, all you want on it. Yeah, like what they did with that run for the tag division, like the main event in WrestleMania with the tag belts, bro. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you look where we've already fell back down to, and it's like. I love AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Had a really good match with New Day yesterday. Sick finish, everything, you know. But it's the tag division obviously clearly isn't in the same place, and it's same over on SmackDown as well. It's just you know, it's kind of like, you know, how we talk about like Tony Storm, like we want her to have the tag belts because we know it will get the women tag division actually some real spotlight because she's such a big star. So it's the same with the Usos really, because the WWE have got the Usos to a certain point now where it's like, if they're in the tag division with the tag belts, like they're not gonna have a reign like the New Day recently did. You know, like they're just not.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna be on pay-per-views. They're gonna have all these things. You know what I mean? WWE is still gonna want to hit the J entrances as much as they can, and you know what I mean. So they're gonna be on all the pay-per-views and the big shows, and that's kind of like what happened. And obviously, it just built and built and built, and the Sammy and the Kevin thing, like you know. And they had one of my favourite WWE tag matches of all time at WrestleMania in the main event. And
Yeah.
that's where they got it to. Then Kevin and Sammy were able to like carry that on for a while, you know. Then the Judgment Day were like running Monday Night Raw with the tag belts as well. Then I guess it's kind of just slowly but surely just, you know what I mean? And they need that jump again, need that jump start again. We need the Usos winning the belts at Mania or defending the belts at Mania against the Lucha Bros and shit like that, man. So
Something.
I'm
They've
with
got plenty of talented tag teams they could be using. I didn't think I would see the day that the women's tag division would be more interesting than the tag division on Raw or SmackDown. But here we are after last night, and I think that was at least one of the few positives coming out of War Games is that they have a lot in place for the women's tag division.
Yep, 100%. It felt all of it felt big as well. Like there's big stars involved, and it's like T Park's Penta is hurt. Exploded his shoulders, probably a bit dramatic, but he's.
Yeah.
I think he'll be back for Mania though. I think he'll be
Yeah,
back for
I
Mania
don't.
though.
We haven't seen an update on what the actual injury is, but I would assume he'll be back by April. So
We hope, we hope. I hope he's back sooner than that. You know what I mean? But maybe he just popped his shoulder. He was talking about he wanted to pop it back in. You know, so you know what I mean. But yeah, shout out Penta. He's a gangster, but yeah, man. Survivor Series. Things coming out of Survivor Series. What else was there? I thought both the singles matches were not terrible. You know, so like the John Cena Dom match. Like I saw a lot of people didn't like it, but it's like for me, it was like I wasn't expecting like some grand epic mid card title match. You know, like I wasn't expecting that at all. Or some grand epic with Dominic Mysterio and 2025 John Cena. It was always going to be a bit, you know, hokey, whatever you want to call it, you know. Get your pops in and stuff like that. But the thing that I always took away from it is that like he achieved things, you know. Cena goes out there pretty much and just takes moves from three different women. He hits a double A on JD and Finn. You know, Dom wins the belt off him. It's like it's you know he gives like the judgment. He gives like the whole of Judgment Day like a rub in like the space of like a 10-minute match or whatever the fuck it is. You know, the referee even gets over a little bit because he doesn't fall for Dom's bullshit with the fucking injury angle. You know, like. So like, like I said, Cena gives like fucking 5 people rubbing like the space of like I don't know 10, 15 minutes, however long the whole thing was. So I thought he achieved some things on his way out. You know, obviously he's only got one match left now, which is next week. So yeah, I didn't think it was like terrible. Although I didn't think the actual like the match, if I was gonna give it a star rating, it probably wouldn't be that high at all. You know, but
Yeah. Yeah, my biggest issue with it, other than the fact that it was incredibly overbooked, I don't know why we needed so many smoke and mirrors in this match.
Cena just wanted to give the girls a rub, man. You know, he wanted to
Yeah, but
hit his double AI on JD and Finn. They all had the little moment with Cena, man. You know.
I mean, even if you were just gonna do that, I mean, they did the angle on the outside with Dom's shoulder. They did the ref bump to get Liv into the match. They did the twist of Liv doing that bad slap that turned into her mimicking Cena's heel turn from Elimination Chamber that turned into a low blow. It was just very overbooked. But
It was a bit messy, you know. But
I think this match in particular just highlighted how inconsequential the last month of WWE programming felt. It felt like everything they did for the past 4 weeks into this pay-per-view happened, and then it was undone by the end of the month. And so it felt like what even was the fucking point of it? Like you put the belt on Cena, and then he has no title defenses. He has 3 matches, including Dom, in a space of that time, and then just drops the belt back to him. Okay, so why did we do any of that? I don't know. It's the same thing with the Logan
boxes,
Paul.
bro.
That's exactly what it is. But yeah, we got to make him a Grand Slam champion before he retires. We got to give him an accolade for the sake of giving him an accolade, and that kind of stuff isn't really for me. But even the Logan Paul vision stuff, you had Bron Breakker behind this guy, and Logan cutting these very uninteresting promos for 3 weeks. We got a pretty meh War Games match out of it. And then this Monday, when Bron actually cut his promo, I was like, hey, why didn't we do this 4 weeks ago? He sounds great. He looks assertive and decisive like we've been wanting him to for 4 weeks. Why did we wait 4 weeks doing the rest of this stuff that wasn't good?
Ticking boxes, bro. War Games build. You gotta tick those boxes, bro. We had to do the big Brock Lesnar reveal, you know. Bullshit, man. No, you're 100% right,
same
bro.
thing with Brock too. That's exactly my point. Brock comes back as a part of this War Games build. He's gone. Feels like none of that even happened. It feels like if you missed that 4 weeks of TV, you really didn't miss anything. Because none of that stuff matters.
Yeah, we didn't. No, all the complaints for both builds, women's and men's War Games, are completely valid going into it, and they tenfold now coming out of this Raw because it was like last night's Raw, which was a good show, by the way. We're going to get to that very soon. It was almost like they were like, okay, let's pick up where we left off. You know, like we're actually booking wrestling shows again now. We're not just like booking a War Games card just to tick the boxes and throw all the stars on the card, and we can be complacent for a month, because that's just what it felt like for the past month, bro. So everything Phil just said, I was second, to be honest. Like, what the fuck have we been doing, you know? So Yeah, and last night, as Chaos just said in the chat, last night they hit on pause. That's basically what they did. Bron Breakker is doing what we was expecting him to do a month ago.
Yeah.
And all the rest of the stuff. Um, I guess the only thing coming out of it would be, at least you kind of like you planted some seeds with like Rhea and Io and Alexa and Charlotte, which obviously played out last night, which obviously ended up going to an ODQ anyway. But like, you know,
Yeah.
um, but really not. It really isn't. You know, I
Yeah.
just don't know what.
Even the finish of the women's match with Becky and AJ. Okay, well, we already did that with WrestlePalooza. We've already established that Becky has a win over. Sorry, that AJ has a win over Becky. This really did nothing
I
else
wonder what.
other than establish that the rest of the division hates Becky Lynch.
What do you think? How much do you think AJ wants to do? You know.
I don't know. Well, I mean, she did a War Games match, so that's
Yeah,
more
but
than I
no, but
expected.
when you deep it, especially with the War Games matches, the way they played out this past weekend, it's like they're pretty easy, aren't they? You know,
Yeah,
kind of go in there, you hit your hot tag at the start when you enter, you kind of lie around for a bit, throw a few punches, maybe someone might jump on you when you catch them, hit your finish. Look, it's very. That's why I think it was very plausible to think that John Cena may have been in it this year. Because it's and I guess it's the reason why AJ Lee herself isn't it, even though she's only had like one match in the past like, decade. But
I think I think Cena in the War Games match would have been better than what we got, honestly.
100%, hundred
But
percent.
I don't know.
So yeah, man. Survivor Series was not received very well. Stephanie and Nikki as well. I didn't actually think their match was very offensive, to be honest. But
Yeah, it wasn't good. I don't think it was the worst match I've ever seen. It wasn't good though, and
it
I
wasn't.
think it suffered a lot because there was no real build for this match. Which is back to my point of a lot of things that happened for the last 4 weeks felt very inconsequential. Like Nikki attacked Stephanie and then attacked her again the next week. There was never like a in-ring promo. There was never like anything where Nikki really explained her motivations for doing any of this stuff. It just was kind of like, yeah, I want to be champion and I'm frustrated because I was losing. So I'm just going to attack you. They did the whole, she attacked her friend. Oh, how could she do it? How could she attack her best friend? Um, it's, yeah, yeah. And the crowd gave them absolutely nothing as I expected because there was no real build to this match. There was nothing to be invested in. And unfortunately for Nikki, a lot of current WWE fans just don't know how she fits into the current WWE product. And that's not entirely her fault. I think it's a lot about the way she's been presented for the past decade. It's hard to really figure her into where things are right now. Like when you bring other legends back, it's a bit different because they're respected for their contributions to women's
Mm.
wrestling, their contributions to the company. And I think in some ways Nikki Bella is too, but she's also so synonymous with an era that they've distanced themselves from. So it's kind of hard to see where she figures in. And I don't think that WWE has truly answered that question or even tried to. I don't know.
They just let Nikki try to do it on a podcast, bro. She's
Yeah, which
she's just trying to see
doesn't
if she can hang, bro. You
yeah
know.
doesn't really work. And her fan base doesn't care. They're going to support her no matter what. She has very avid stands,
Bella
but
Army, brother.
yeah,
Good to
but
know.
then you have the other subset of fans where it doesn't matter what she does, they're going to judge it extremely harsh. And I don't think she helped herself in this match or the Clash in Paris match because there were bits of it that were very rough. um, and I think it, confirmed for a lot of people that are like she's washed or she can't wrestle that yeah, she she can't hang or she doesn't belong. And I don't think that would have been the case if they had handled the months or weeks leading into this match better. Maybe if they gave her more reps, maybe if they actually gave her wins that led up to this instead of just having her attack somebody and get a match.
Yeah, it's an awkward one. It's kind of for all the reasons you just laid out. Like they definitely wouldn't. She would need a lot more juice from creative. You know. Um, but like she can. somewhat survive just off name because, like you said, she's got a strong fan base, and obviously she's kind of got the allure of being like an ex-recognizable face and all these different things. So, but yeah, if they're gonna do this run, bro, like, they do need to give her a bit more juice. It's like you can't just be like, oh, let's turn a heel and she's gonna have a world title match in 2 weeks, even though we're not gonna build it properly. And Stephanie would literally just did like one video package or some shit, and we got what we got, And the match itself, like I didn't think it was very offensive, to be honest. I thought it was kind of like very meh,
It was
But
fine. It was better than a Clash in Paris match to me, but I
yes,
don't think that's
100%.
saying very much.
Yeah, it's not, but it was.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I don't know. I
So
just think that they're trying to hold this out until we get to the Royal Rumble, and we're obviously going to get the first interaction between Nikki and AJ Lee since they've been back. I would assume that's what they're waiting for, is to do it in a Rumble, right?
I don't know, man. They're doing a lot of weird things these days. It's like they're doing the Nikki Bella run, so you'd think they would put some juice into it, but they're not. So it's like, are they actually going to do the things that you would expect? Say a year ago, if you was told like, yeah, they're going to do a real Nikki Bella run and she's going to be there every week and she's going to be on the pay-per-views and the blah blah blah. Like, you'd think, okay, if they can get AJ back now that they got Punk back, then you would want to do that and X, Y, and Z. And it's just like she's not really done any of it. So
Yeah.
she put over Roxanne twice, which was cool. But
Yeah. It's also been very, very jarring to see how well received AJ has been in comparison to Nikki since she's been back. And it also just says a lot about how they've treated AJ since she's come back. I know it's a bit different because AJ's been gone for about 10 years, but even the way they brought Nikki back in like the last spot of the Women's Royal Rumble this year, and a lot of people thought that was going to be Becky. And so when Nikki's music hit, it was like, oh, Nikki's back. Okay.
Okay.
And it's been just kind of like that ever since. Like for months on end, like, oh yeah, she's still here. Okay.
Yeah, Nikki Bella, man. I'm supporting, but, yeah.
Very,
Survivor
very
Series, man.
polarizing figure.
Survivor Series. So yeah, it wasn't received very well. Triple H said that it's going to be an epic Raw last night, and like I said, Raw I thought was actually a very good show, especially for Monday Night Raw standards, especially when in comparison, in contrast to the weekly TV that we've been getting in the past few weeks, man. So let's just kind of like, we'll go through kind of like the main highlights of it. Rhea and Io, they open up the show, which I was kind of surprised by, but by the end of the show, not so much because of what ended the show, but I was kind of surprised that like Liv and Dom didn't open up the show,
Mm-hmm.
considering obviously the John Cena thing. Liv big return, she's a huge star, want to pick up back where you left off. But yeah, they went with the Rio opening. Charlotte, they talk about, basically they want the Kabuki Warriors heads, man. They want the tag titles off them. As soon as tag titles gets mentioned, Charlotte and Alexa comes out, and of course, they didn't get their rematch yet, so they're like, yo, relax. Relax. But if you basically, it comes to it, they get set up for a match later tonight, and it's even though it's not officially said, it is basically a number one contenders match, So yeah, that gets set up, and yeah, man, the people love Rhea and Io. You can always start a show with them, even though, like I just said, I was kind of surprised they didn't go with Liv and Dom. I think they opened up the second hour though. But yeah, Rhea and Io, you can always start a show with them. Always current Alexa Bliss, yeah, like it makes me laugh, especially like with WWE, like on Netflix these days. Like if a wrestler's not wrestling, or even if they are later in the night, like they always make sure they've got like a nice fit on and that. Whereas like Alexa will just go out there in the leggings and the Vans, like she don't give a fuck, bro. She's just out there. Let me do my TV segment. Go in the back, then I'll put my gear on. You get me? Like she's chilling. She's a mom now. She's an icon, bro. It's just,
Yeah, that's the Charlotte spot. Charlotte, if nothing else, Charlotte's gonna get these fits off every week.
Yes.
She's gonna get the street clothes fits off.
that makes it even funny, if anything, because the contrast, like Charlotte's in this big, elaborate, like proper trying to do like super like high style, and Lexa's just like, yeah, man, just give me leggings, top, my Vans, I'm good, bro. Like, but yeah, you guys know I love Lexi. I love the Charlotte and Lexi stuff. Rhea and Io, of course, very very successful, and yeah, man, big match. Happy, the crowd's very happy with the announcement of it. And yeah, man, Charlotte and Rhea have good tension with each other. I think they're still playing that very well. Um, and yeah, so right, last time is now. Tournament still continues. I thought there was two very good semi-finals, Phil. I can't lie. I thought Jay versus LA Knight was actually really good. Up until I thought the finish was a bit unnecessary, even with like the stuff that you did after, So like Knight beats Jay. Jay kind of, and they just kind of focus on Jay for a minute, probably a bit longer than a minute to be honest. And he's just sitting there, just kind of like soaking in this defeat. And the commentators are like, oh, he's devastated and doing all that on commentary. And Jay's just kind of like pacing around, like he's just devastated. He looks distraught, like. And I love that they like let this settle in, Like wins and losses matter, bro, especially in tournaments and that. Like even though it's the bare minimum, But even if it is, it's just when whether it's WWE, AEW, or any show, when they actually put some emphasis on like these things and let it settle in without, because especially with wrestling TV, everything just like next segment, move on. This what's going on back here, but going back there, they let Jay like wallow in his defeat, bro. When like he was just, you could see the gears turning in his head, like he was devastated, and Jay himself, of course, performance-wise, he played it up very well. And then eventually he just crashed out, bro, on the outside, like throwing prime bottles and the case and the steps everywhere, and he just had enough, bro. Like, and but the match itself, I thought was very good. They got the crowd, man. They got the crowd. Jay's always gonna do some funny things, like that spear is, that spear is, it's not amazing, but the actual match, the way that they built it up and the closing stretch, it was all very good, man. And I'll rate LA Knight highly. I think a lot of you guys know that. You guys know I love Jay, although he's had a very interesting year. But yeah, I really like this match. The finish, of course, with basically LA Knight kicking out of an Uso splash, a super kick, everything. And from getting he didn't even get his knees up. He got hit with the Uso splash. Jay goes to pin him, and then they did that thing where like he kicks out by like rolling him over onto his shoulders, and he got the pin that way, and he didn't even come off that clean. But it's just, they decided they wanted to protect Jay a bit, and he kind of give him one of those losses where it was really frustrating. But I think I would have just had Knight beat him with his finish in the middle, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't think Jay really needed that much protecting, and you still could have done the thing that you did after, like you could have beat him with his finish. I'm not saying that Knight had to fucking hospitalize him, bro. Like you still could have kind of done it, even if it was like, Jay's focus slipped for a minute and that allowed Knight the opening to hit his finish. Like, you could have done something like that. Like, it didn't have to be as so like, oh, he got him. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, Knight, like, give Knight some juice. He's about to fucking face Gunther in the final, bro. Like, just, but, a very good match, I thought, Phil. And yeah, Jay crashed out, bro. Where does this go for Jay? Do you think they're actually going to do a heel turn, or
They can't. It makes absolutely no sense to turn this guy heel. He's one of the most popular babyface in the company. They show us at every turn that his interest is over. He's getting great reactions. It makes absolutely no sense to turn this guy. It's just fascinating the year that he's had. It's fascinating that he went from arguably the most interesting character in the Bloodline storyline. He's treated like the main character by the end of it. And they've really robbed him of everything that made that character so compelling coming out of Bloodline. And they rely so heavily on the entrance and like moments. And even when he was crashing out after this match, it just felt so hokey and put on. It it didn't feel authentic. It just felt like, okay, we got to do something to make you feel like there's a story coming. So here's this, and it was just like I couldn't really
Yeah.
bring
So
myself to
where
care.
where are we going?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
but the
like
match
yeah,
itself was good, like you said. I think that this is one of Jay's best matches of the year. He's
yeah.
had some he's had some clunkers this year, so it was good to see him get a good win. And I think it was promising that LA Knight could bring that kind of performance out of him. I was not
Yeah, man.
interested in another Jay Gunther match at all, so I was glad that
I was
LA
I
Knight
was
picked up
kind
the
of
win.
dreading it, bro. I can't lie. I was
Yeah,
kind of dreading
I
it.
was like, just what I was saying earlier. We just do another matchup. We've seen this match too many times this year. I would much rather see LA Knight versus Gunther.
But yeah, yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Jay. It's like they even did the backstage thing as well. Like, I think it was Jackie Redmond, and he's like he didn't want to talk, and Jackie was like, "Jay, come on, man, like, Jay, man." like, and then Jay said a line to the effect of like, Roman was right. Maybe those titles they just look better on him. So Jay's doing the whole self doubt, wallowing in self pity thing at the moment. So we'll see if he snaps and turns heel, if he locks in and battles his demons. If he maybe. Maybe I don't think they'll do the Roman J thing for Mania. I know that it's something that Roman wouldn't actually. It's one of the few things Roman wouldn't turn his nose up at. But I think he'd want it for the world title still. So, um, Roman wants to win his world title at Mania, bro. The main event. So, but yeah. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe you do get Jay and Roman coming up. Maybe Jay turns heel. Maybe it kind of just leads to nothing, and he just kind of carries on yeeting. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But Jay's been crashing out. So yeah, I don't know. Take a quick break for some super chats. Ryan, member, a couple months now. Appreciate it. Gunther elevated to a new level every match. LA Gunther is the best case scenario from a rotten bracket. You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. Like the best matches of this whole tournament have been basically Gunther's matches. Um, Gunther's matches, Solo versus Nemeth, Ziggler. What else? That's probably it. Gunther and
Yeah,
Solo MVPs.
yeah. Mello had a good showing at one point, but yeah, the Gunther match with Mello was really good. Uh, yeah, it's really been the Gunther matches so far. That's why I've been so confused that people like, oh, I hope Gunther doesn't win this tournament. Gunther's been far and away the best wrestler in this tournament. Why would you want him to win?
And so Solo's the closest. If we're just talking performance, like Solo, he didn't miss in this tournament, bro. Big Solo Sikoa, the street champion versus the ring general. It was gas, bro. I liked it a lot. Solo's first or probably second best match of his career. I'd probably maybe have the Cody Cage match just above it, but yeah, this was Solo Gunther was very, very good, and like I said, Solo hasn't missed in this tournament. Like, very unfortunate what happened with Penta, obviously, so that one
Mhm.
don't count. That wasn't a good match or a bad match for him. He didn't do a lot. It's even down to the injury. It weren't really his fault. Solo basing now. But but yeah, man, Solo Sikoa versus Nemeth was very good for what it was. Nemeth himself was phenomenal in that match for the little time that they had to kind of do something with it. And
What
then,
a
of
guy,
course,
man. Bright
yeah,
lights. Nemeth got out there in Madison
MSG.
Square Garden, bumped his ass off. He's incredible, man.
Yeah, so that was a very good match. And of course, this match last night with Gunther, bro, like, yeah, man, what a match. What a match. Solo Sikoa, man, a few people I think said to me on Twitter, like, SmackDown's the problem. Solo's had interesting booking, hasn't he, bro? Like, Of course, he was like the enforcer in the bloodline at the peak of the bloodline and stuff. So he was always going to have kind of like his spin off arc and stuff. And that ended up being him thinking he was the next tribal chief. And do you know what I mean? And he had like his big feud with Roman, which never really hit the way that you would have wanted it to. Um, and that's kind of spun into him having like this mediocre kind of fake feeling bloodline on SmackDown, and he's kind of
Yeah.
like this upper mid card main heel on the show, and it's like he's just in this weird spot, bro. You know, and he's not really. But he can do things like he's a good character, man. Like he can like people find him. He's charismatic. Some people find him funny when he tries to be funny. You know, he can talk. He can do all the live segments because God knows that he's been in so many of them with all the Bloodline guys and that now. Like he can do them. He can handle them. And obviously he's in ring. He's at a good. He's at a nice level, man. For how long he's been. You gotta remember, he's not exactly like he's some 15-year pro either. You know what I mean? Like he's still.
Yeah.
I think with wrestling these days, you know, like so many of the wrestlers that we see on TV are new. Do you know what I mean? And the NXT people and the Evolve people that we're literally watching learn how to wrestle in front of our eyes on national TV and shit. You know, but it's like people like Solo who are still like. I don't know, when did Solo debut, bro? Like you can't. It must have been like late, mid 2010s, late 2010s. You
Yeah.
know, he ain't been around. He's probably like 7 years in or something, if that. You know, if
Yeah.
that.
I think he works really well when he leans into his comedic timing and like his humor. I think that works well for him. When he's too serious, when he's just out there doing like this fake mob boss thing, it doesn't work as well for him. And I do think his matches have been better throughout this year, but I also think it's because he's kind of at the level where he should be. I don't think he's quite ready to be a main event level player. I think when you
Mm.
put him in at this level at like mid card and let him work, I think he's been good because that's kind of where his level is at the moment, talent wise.
Yeah, like the whole like the. I think they kind of got so in love and married to the idea of him like leading a group and his own bloodline and all this and that. You know, that it's kind of like it's put him in this situation now that he's in. You know, where it's
Yeah.
like. You know, okay, he's got to lead the MFTs and they have to be doing something. And it's
Yeah,
like,
that they look so goofy behind them with all of them in the makeup. It's just but perfect example of what I said earlier, where WWE will find something you like and it turns into a monkey paw situation. It's like, oh, you like that? Well, we're gonna give it to you until you hate it, and we're gonna overdo it until you get tired of it. And the makeup for the God guys is yet another example.
dude, look what Gunther and Big Solo are doing. Street Champion versus the Ring General, bro. Gunther versus Solo brought me to tears. From KM Raid, I've been a member for 2 months. It says Gunther and Solo brought me to tears. Magical match, 4 stars. Would have gone 5 if it were in the Tokyo Dome.
Magical match, 4 stars.
There's some art going on there. I appreciate it though, brother. I appreciate you being a member. Don't forget to lock in. We've got some good shit up on the member stuff at the moment. I'll do those plugs at the end though. Ryan, appreciate you as always, brother. Oba doesn't seem likely for the Rumble win. Have him on a collision course for Ilya/Melo for the US title. No, thank you. I kind of want him to beat Giants and add them to a group like Omos and War Raiders. He is the ruler. I don't know, man. I'm not writing off the Rumble win until I have to, you know, until he enters the Rumble and he's eliminated from said Rumble. I will
I just
always
don't
think
see
he
it,
can win a
brother.
Rumble. Yeah,
I
neither
just
do
don't
I,
see
but
it.
you know, I ain't
Um,
fully.
I wonder, is he going to end up on this episode of Saturday Night Main Event? Because, they promoted that this is going to be NXT wrestlers and exhibition matches. I think if you're using anybody from NXT here, Opa should be in one of those matches. And like, how would you even handle that? What kind of match would this be? Is it going to be kind of like a quick squash match, or are you going to try and
The
put him in a
best,
competitive match?
the
Like,
best suggestion I've heard for Oba for that show, because of course he was one of the names. So when Cena was like, "Yo, I want to spotlight some NXT talent on the show and stuff," it's like what talent would fit for that role? As Phil said, Oba, of course. What's he gonna do though? The best suggestion I heard around that time was he needs to beat Sheamus, bro. Him and Sheamus just fucking like he needs to like smoke Sheamus, not like a full on like squash 10 seconds.
Is Sheamus
You
still
know
injured though?
what was the injury though?
Yeah, 'cause I don't know what the injury was, but he was taken out of the tournament because of the injury.
So we'll see. But that was the best suggestion. So something of that level where it's like he's like, you don't have him come in and he's not gonna fucking beat Cody Rhodes on Saturday night's main event. You know what I mean? Like that's not where they're gonna do that. But somebody like respectable, like really respectable that he can like beat convincingly. You know. So who would fall into that like Sheamus category? 'Cause Sheamus is special, bro. Like he's a special member of the roster that you can kind of almost do anything with, you know.
Based on WWE's current booking, I hate that I now have this in my brain because now I think it's going to happen. I now think it's going to happen. If you notice, the guy that has been demanding a Cena match for most of this year, even last year, they hasn't been talked about. They kind of just threw him in this new day angle for whatever reason. He doesn't fit with them at all. I think it makes a lot of sense for Grayson Waller to open this show and say, I still want my match, demand this match. And of course, Cena doesn't come out. That cues Oba's music. Oba comes out, basically squashes him. That's how you get Oba on this card. I don't think they're going to put him in a competitive match. I don't think that they care to do that. I think it's going to be a quick. I think it's going to be a quick squash match. Watch. I bet I'm right too, and I hate that this is now in my brain because I think it's going to happen. If it's not Grayson Waller, I bet it's something else like that where Oba's just going to squash somebody.
Ooh, you could do a little bit of both with Rusev, of what we said. Like Rusev could do the whole "I'm pissed I ain't got my Cena" match. Like he can do all that, you know. I think he's probably cut the best promos about Cena in this last time it's now tournament. To be honest, if anyone's actually caught them, and then you can have Oba come out and like not fully like embarrassingly squashing the way that he would Grayson Waller in literally like 2 minutes. Because it's like, what does that really do for Oba, bro? Do you know what I mean? No, it doesn't really do anything for him. Like anybody could come out and smoke Grayson Waller with 3 moves. You know what I mean? Like, but if he goes out there for like 4 minutes with Rusev and definitively beats him, like, that people will remember that. Like people will be like, "Yo, this guy's serious." You get me? And also he can also show off his power a bit better against Rusev. I know he can hit his finish on Rusev, bro. Like he can do the thing where he fucking throws him across the ring to Rusev and shit. Because Oba's freakishly strong, bro. You know, so even someone like Rusev, I have no doubt in my mind that he can rather throw him around the ring. So
yeah,
I like that idea. You know, Richard, I like it.
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm not convinced that Oba's going to be immune to WWE's current booking habits, and that's why I could just see him. I could just see him showing up and getting one of these quick squash matches. And I personally don't dislike Grayson Waller. I think Grayson Waller is very much underused. I think he's misused in the situation that he's in. When you see him at like the live event and the live event here where he came out to Punk's music, and bro, I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know why they want
a ton of personality, man.
Yeah, I don't know why they won't just make him a singles wrestler. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, neither do I, man. But if it goes the way that you've, I guess, predicted, I wouldn't say hope, but predicted, yeah, like Grayson Waller would fit that role perfectly, bro. Like perfectly, 100%. So anything I was saying, it's not a slight on Grayson Waller. I think I pretty much second everything that Phil says. I think he's got a ton of personality. I think he's not a bad worker at all, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, he loves his forward rolls and stuff. But anyway, his look as well can be a bit, you know. But he's jacked and stuff now, so you know.
I think the other big match I would do on Saturday Night Main Event is probably Melo Javon. I think that would be a good match coming out of the tournament. Both of them were in the tournament. If you want to bring an NXT guy up for a Saturday night main event. You've already used Javon a few times on the main roster. The crowd's already going to know him. And just giving Melo a win in that situation over Javon gives him at least something coming out of this tournament.
I don't know. You know what it is? I'm not. The showcase matches need to be really. I need to be really moved by them. You know what I'm saying? So like Obafemi, like that's a cheat code. Obviously, I'm gonna be moved by that because people know how I feel about Obafemi. You know, but the way I'm looking at like this, seeing a Saturday night's main event, one of the ideas that I really liked is kind of like I wouldn't have that many matches on this show because I'll just be doing a whole bunch of fucking Cena propaganda on it, you know, the video packages, the fucking, you know, make sure there's enough time for him to have like a real, like, you know, ceremony and speech at the very end, you know, like after the match. Like, there should be like 20 minutes left in the show after the match ends, you know, them ones. So he can do like his speech and people can come out and give him his flowers. And, you know, Triple H is going to come out and give him some form of fucking. Gonna give him a plaque or some shit, you know.
You don't think it's going to cut off early like they cut Goldberg off?
Triple H don't give a shit about Goldberg, bro.
Can you imagine if that's the end of Cena's farewell tour? He gets cut off early.
Wrong. It would be so wrong, bro. It'd be so wrong. That's what I'm saying. Like they need to time it out really well. So I wouldn't be like, oh, they need to put 4 or 5 matches on this show. Like, no, fuck all that, because like. But the matches that you do have, they really need to achieve something, you know. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't have if we didn't already know that they were doing the NXT showcases. It wouldn't have surprised me if they just did like the women's tag title match, and this,
yeah,
you know, and the retirement match. So whatever the women's tag title match ends up being, whether they do the 3-way, whether a number 1 contender truly emerges or whatever, you know. But
yeah.
But yeah, I just. Oba's the only person that I'd be like Javon already gets like enough spotlight and stuff. It's not one of them where it's like, oh, let's do a big introduction for Javon Evans. Like, bro, he's been on SmackDown in fucking. He's had that match with Sammy and Like, he's already made his big splash. Like, people love him and that. And obviously, this would be a big opportunity and something else for him. But I don't think it would have the same positive effect that it would for somebody like, I say somebody like. There's nobody like, but. For Obafemi, who else would I really be trying to showcase, man? Obviously you want to showcase loads of people. I mean, I really, really want to prioritize. I'm trying to think women, but they've obviously they've moved. Some of them they've already moved. Like Stephanie's already on the main roster. Roxanne's already on the main roster.
Yeah, Jordan's been in the Rumble. Jordan's somebody you could put in that spot, but she's also been in the Rumble.
Blake Monroe probably has a good chance of getting on this show if they are going to do the showcase.
If it's somebody that I believe Sol Ruka makes sense. If it's somebody I believe they're very high on, like I could see Kendall Gray in the spot as well because they seem very high on her at the moment.
I hope they are. I hope they're just not gassing us up. You know?
Yeah,
she's good, man. She's got a decent bit of personality and stuff as well. So yeah, she seems like things are adding up for her to be very, to do very well, you know. But you never know. But
I thought of Kendall when they showed that Maxine Natty segment, and I was just like, oh, this would be like a great place for Kendall if Natty did do like this like Heart Dungeon Dojo style staple of like women shooters.
That'd be a good spot. Yeah, it'd be a good spot.
That'd be a great spot for Kendall.
It'd be a great spot for her. It's a good idea, man. Especially because I think they do need to. Natalia clearly wants to like capitalize on like this little natty moment that she's had over the past year, you know. And I think she's earned the right to at least try and see that through, you know. Not even just like the longevity of her being a good soldier for so many years. It's like she's gone out on the indies and she's like tried to get it over and she's put all the effort into it on social media, and some fans really fuck with it, bro, you know. So before it fully dies off, because it's already lost a little bit of steam, maybe it gets rejuvenated with like the Maxine segment last night, which was fucking hilarious, by the way. But yeah, we'll see, man. I do think they should capitalize on it, and if they did, you know, you'd probably have like Natty, Kendall, like Ivy or someone, you
Coach Ivy.
know.
Um, I mean, hey, what's Layla Hirsch doing? Why can't you sign her and put her
Ooh,
in this group? I don't know.
ooh, I like Layla Hirsch. I've got time for her. Um, her grind's legitimate, bro. Anyway, Ryan 279 appreciated. Rotate War Games, Iron Survivor, and Traditional. Yeah, man. I think out of like the realistic suggestions, I think that kind of like one on, one off that I was saying at the top of the show is, I think I'd, if they announce something like that, I'd receive it very well. Is what I'll say. Um, Kale, appreciate you as always, brother. I know a better fit for Theory, the unemployment. Come
Jeez.
on, we don't even know if it's him yet, even though it pretty
Uh,
clearly is. I know a better fit for Theory, the unemployment line. Shout out to the Raw women's roster. Should get multiple featured Mania matches. I hope so, but I'm never too optimistic with anything that I want to see when it comes to Hunter Hearst Helms these days. But Ryan 699, appreciate you. Not a Theory guy, but do you think he's aligned with Seth? I remember Ibu said they were considering Ethan Ricky with Seth originally. I don't think that's a bad theory. That theory is like Seth's guy that's, I don't know, trying to like get behind enemy lines, or I don't, do you know what I mean? But who knows? I don't think it's a bad theory though, Ryan. I don't think it's a bad theory.
no, I don't think it's a bad theory. I saw already some people have gotten their mind like, ooh, what if it's Montez? And I'm just like, that sounds way more interesting than anything I believe they do with Montez. The idea of Montez going off on his own and joining the division would be interesting, but it's clearly theory. So,
And Angelo's just like bare confused on SmackDown, like, yo, it's just,
the fuck, bro? What are you doing over there? But yeah, yeah, I think it's a good theory. But yeah, I think we're heading towards theory trying to force his way into this group, and but based on Bron's promo last night, it doesn't seem like he's enthused at all at the idea of somebody else joining.
mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll get to that promo as well in a minute. After these, GMB 199. Assuming Bianca's cleared for WrestleMania, who does Tiffany face?
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with Tiffany by the time she gets back. The report is that she's recovering from multiple nagging injuries, so I assume she's gonna take some time off. I don't know. She's there's got to be a rematch with Jade. I would assume. I don't think that they need another match, but based on the way that their match ended, I assume that lends itself to a rematch, right?
I guess it just depends on how long she's out. I think if she's out
Yeah,
for if she's out for like a few months or something, then I think that there's a good chance that they're just like, yeah, we're dropping it, you know.
yeah,
And but if she's back in the next few weeks, then like, yeah, she'll probably get a rematch before the end of the year, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, man, JNLA Knight and Solo versus Gunther, two very good matches in the last time is now tournament. Okay, Judgment Day segment. They come out. Dominic comes out. They don't come out with Liv to start off with, but Dom comes out, of course, just beating John Cena for the IC title, and you know they just do the typical thing, you know, bragging, you know, with this, with that, and then Dom introduces Liv Morgan, and you know they kind of they brag a little bit more about like tricking John Cena, getting the better of him, but basically, bro, Liv Morgan is not happy with how the Judgment Day fell off. They've lost their titles, they fell off, they're losing matches. But all that's done now because Liv Morgan's back, you get me? She's back. She's going to lead the Judgment Day. They're going to get the titles back and Judgment Day run Monday Night Raw again. And that was the gist of the promo, basically. Of like Liv coming back and being like, yo, let's cut the bullshit. We're winning our titles back. Let's lock in, you know? Finn and JD kind of stood there, kind of like, you know, like bad dogs getting told off. Like, but yeah, man, I like Liv Morgan coming in and being assertive. Kind of just naturally, it makes sense for her to, you know, trying to assert Judgment Day's dominance again on Monday Night Raw. I do think the stuff with Dom's weird, like the smack and then jumping into his arms. Like I just kind of like, whoa, what are we doing? Can
Yeah.
someone explain to me what the fuck we're doing there? Because
Yeah, I know that they're trying to play off. Well, Liv was watching everything that was happening while she was gone, so she doesn't trust Dom. But we've been doing the does she not trust Dom thing for over a year at this point. Either give us a payoff for that or just move on from it. I did really like Roxanne in a segment because she very clearly was trying to act like she was supportive and she was happy that Liv was back, but she was clearly not. And
yeah, she's
even
good at
at
playing the fake. You know.
yeah, even at the end of the show when she came out and she held up the tag titles with Raquel and Liv was like, "What are you doing?" And then she gave her the belt and she was like, "Yeah, yeah." And then Liv starts getting into the camera and she goes back to raising the belt behind her back. I thought all that stuff was really good.
Yeah, they're an interesting group, man. But yeah, the slapping, the Liv getting, Liv's locking in. Roxanne, she'll be a very interesting part of obviously anything Liv's doing going forwards. I think so. Obviously, it's good to keep an eye on her, and yeah, man, pretty standard stuff really. And then we got like the Maxine Natty dungeon video package, which was fucking art. I can't even Maxine getting put through her paces, bro. Is it? I swear it was in black and white and shit as well. Like it was, it was, and it weren't Natalia, bro. It's Natty Hart, Neidhart, bro. Hair up, you get me? Shooter gear, like she was. It was It was a segment, bro. She's getting ready for the Becky Lynches of the world. She's getting ready for the rest of the IC title division. Ivy Nile, she was telling Adam Pearce that she wants Maxine as soon as possible. So I guess it's just all part of like the Maxine story, isn't it? Of like she's won the title now, so she needs to be a serious wrestler, prove that she can be one of the best in the division, and it's gonna be this thing, and it'll be comedic, and it'll be charming, and it'll be blah 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 blah, and Triple H will love it. So yeah, obviously we've already spoke about Natty and kind of I guess the outcomings of this. So AJ and Dragon Lee versus New Day, good match, very 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 good finish. But yeah, the tag division, bro. We need the Usos in there, don't we, Phil?
This tag division is ice cold. They've got tag teams that they're not using at all. Even afterwards, when Dragon Lee and AJ were like, "Well, we want War Raiders," I was like, "Oh, I forgot about War Raiders. They are still around, huh?" But yeah, there are a bunch of other tag teams that are just hanging around doing nothing. I don't really get it. It's the same way on SmackDown. You've got a bunch of really good tag teams on SmackDown doing nothing. Um, yeah, I don't get it. I don't get the booking of either tag divisions at the moment.
Yeah, it's obviously just echoing a lot of what we said earlier, man. Let's get the Usos in there. Let's get some juice in there. Let's saying that a lot today, juice. But yeah, man, shout out the Usos, man. Let's get them. Like the New Day are good. The New Day are good, man. It's not like they fell off and gone wash. Like it's just that their booking's like been terrible.
Well,
It's just
I think we just like gloss over because they, of course, the Cena heel turn is a generational fumble, but the way that they fumbled the New Day's heel turn, I think in a lot
criminal.
of ways might be worse because they spent more time building up to that heel turn and they had such a great moment in it and they did nothing with it. They they
Oh
completely
yeah, I
fumbled it.
think I think there's a good argument for it. It would be hard to get over in like the wider public, because it's Cena. But like yeah, to Phil's point, the time and the effort, especially from like the books, like we'd hear things whether it was through like Ibu privately or whatever. Um, like the New Day cared a lot about that
Yeah.
build, and like getting it right and taking their time with it and not, what I mean, and wanting to do it properly. And yeah, and they put all the time and the effort into it, and they were doing these great segments. Like remember when like Kofi and Woods were arguing, and they went all the way into the back, and they were still arguing. And the camera followed them, and they had like this big
Yeah.
argument, and it just felt real, bro. But obviously they had like an all-time heel turn. They literally had an
Yeah.
all-time heel turn with the Big E segment, and it's like with the Cena thing. you can almost like you have to also consider like even though it has been a creative failure, you also have to consider kind of like the position creatively they were put in by like Dwayne and Guards and all. Do you know what I mean? And all these different things, and it's also like you're dealing with John Cena, so it's like it's always going to be a bit more sensitive, you know, and all these different things. With the New Day's heel turn flopping, there's literally no fucking excuse for it, bro. Like there's just
Yeah.
they just fumbled it for no fucking good reason. Like, and I know that like part of it was there was the jury was still kind of out that like maybe there's hope that Big E may come back at some point like this year or next year or something, and it doesn't. That obviously it seems like the assumption would be that like that's not as close as they may have thought it would be or isn't even possible, you know. And obviously that would throw a spanner in the works kind of thing, but it's like it's still not an excuse for them to completely fumble the actual heel run itself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think there probably is an argument, to be honest, because like I said, there's less excuses. With the Cena thing, it's a lot more sensitive, politics involved, blah, 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 blah. Like, there's certain boxes they wanted to tick with it as well. Like, they wanted to do the Punk match, they wanted to do the Randy match, they wanted to have him Grand Slam champion, they wanted to make him fucking 17-time champion. You know what I mean? There was more politics and things to maneuver with Cena, even though that doesn't excuse just how terrible it's been. But the New Day shit had no excuse, bro. No excuse.
Yeah, you didn't have the same time constraints that you had with Cena as well. You had New Day that was there every week. You had weeks upon weeks to build upon something and do something, and it never went anywhere. They had them shortly after that doing the commercial break promos on Netflix, and that was
every week without fail.
Yeah, it was. And now they're completely cold. I mean, I really thought about it. I truly think this is the coldest Kofi has been in over a decade. Like this is like he has like nothing going right now.
Yeah, he's again to I guess to your broader point when we were talking about the New Day at the start, kind of like I think there's a lot of things that kind of get swept under the rug. Not swept under the rug, but they don't get as highlighted or complained or highlighted as much because the Cena thing has been the thing that people are like, oh, how could WWE fuck up John Cena's retirement? And don't get me wrong, it's fucking a disgrace, you know, that they've absolutely fumbled John Cena's retirement year and they've had all year to plan for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely criminal. But it's covered up things like the New Day, you know, things like even down to things like I know that there is actually quite a lot of fanfare really and a lot of complaints, but even things like Drew McIntyre, things like the Street Profits just getting nothing. I think that's mad
as well. They
never mind the fit heel turn. Just in general, Phil, just like they're so talented, bro, and it's like they get fucking nothing, bro, nothing, and it's just bizarre.
Legitimately had one of the best WWE matches this year with the TLC match as well, and did get on the WrestleMania card with that match. People still loved it anyway on SmackDown, and then nothing out of it. Like it's wild. They teased the split again and then didn't do it. I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing with them. I don't get the stop-start that they keep trying to do with Montez.
It's shocking, bro. Yeah. And obviously we've just mentioned like the New Day, but also just magnifying a bit more on it. It's like as you said about Kofi, bro. It's like he's taken mad for granted, man. Like Kofi's, it's very easy to forget. When you look at how cold and where he is now, it's like, bro, like Kofi. It's not even just he used to be a world champ. It's like, bro, Kofi's one of them people. Like, he's got to be one of the longest serving people on the roster. And you think about how like some of the other people are treated who are from that era, or whether they're coming back, or whether it's like and I'm not saying he should be treated like Randy Orton because Randy Orton's Randy Orton, but you know what I mean. Like it's just like he's just a guy, and it's like, bro, bona fide fucking legend. Like it's just Kofi Kingston, bro. Like, so yeah, things like that. Sami Zayn's world title arc is completely vanished into thin air. You know,
Yeah,
like maybe he wins the Rumble at Saudi. I think that's just kind of us putting. I feel like that's fans trying to like put two and two together and get five, because it's like Sammy winning the Rumble in Saudi, like that makes perfect sense. But it's like we're
it
not
does.
really getting any signals right now that's they even
Yeah,
fucking being
I
considered. You know,
I'm
so
starting to feel more and more like Roman is going to win the Rumble, guys.
very funny. Very
I
funny.
Everything
Roman's gonna
about
have
it.
a generationally funny run in the next. That's my prediction actually. That's what I'll give people, because obviously I'm saying all these things that Roman wants this, Roman wants that. Obviously I've not spoke to Roman Reigns, you know what I mean. But obviously you hear things, bits and pieces, things that I'll never be able to say myself or whatever. But it's just like all I'm expecting is Roman Reigns to go on one of the most generationally funny runs politically that he's been on, like, ever over the next, how long we got between now and Mania? Between now and Mania, like the next 5 months, and he's just gonna be. He's gonna win the Rumble. He's gonna pin Cody in the main event of WrestleMania. It's nasty, bro. He's gonna get Jay's probably gonna be in the other world title match somehow. Like it's nasty, bro. It's funny because I love Big Rome. You get me? Like, it makes me laugh. Like, obviously, I'm laughing about it, but it is bad, man. Like, if all that shit does play out the way I said, obviously the J World title match at Man is probably me pushing it a bit far, but the other shit I said sounds very, very, very plausible. You know, so someone Cora said in the chat, he's not putting anybody over that he's not his family. Also, he's not putting Seth over again, bro. I don't think
No,
he is.
no.
I think the only people he wants, the only people he's putting over, is if they somehow get like a gun to his head about the Cody thing and just. But I don't know, man. I doubt it. I think he'd put over Jacob. I think he'd put over Jay. I think he'd put over Bron Breakker. He's already put over Bronson Reed, to be fair. But again, that's another thing swept under the rug. I think it's like Bronson Reed beat Roman Reigns, and WWE capitalised on him stealing his shoes more. Bronson Reed beat Roman Reigns, bro. They've done nothing with it. They've done nothing with it. He beat Roman
No.
Reigns in the middle. I know, obviously, it had all, smoke and mirrors and blah, 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 blah with it. Do you know what I mean? It weren't super, super clean, just straight up beating. But he beat him, and it meant nothing. It meant Roman Reigns took a pin. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah. But see, that's also just to my point from earlier. If all of this vision stuff you did all year leads to nothing, and we just do Cody and Roman, all of that becomes pointless.
Listen, and like I said, bro, like Roman wants what he wants, and the implications that has on things that they've either been building or want to build, or how talent feel about where they're going to be put on Mania or whatever, or if they thought maybe they wanted to have a chance of winning the Rumble or whatever, it's oh man. So when things like this happen and we're like, well, that don't really make sense for them to do that, but big names and stuff, just think about, like, I think they're about to get into a very messy I think it'll be messier politically than it was last year. That's another prediction that I'm gonna make.
Yeah. I mean, I think you
it's gonna
could
be
see
a
it.
mess.
I think you could see it with the War Games match. That report of like who's gonna come out last, and then you've got Brock in the mix now, and like, yeah.
I was saying this to Joe, man. It's like, it's one of the unfortunate truths. Like, you think of all the like we spoke, I think, a few weeks ago about like the clubhouse of the top guys, and like who can get in there, like who can really get in there. Like even people like Gunther can't really get in there, even though like Triple H wants him in there. Do you know them ones? And it's like out of all of like the absolute mega stars in the company that are in that clubhouse, like your Punk, your Roman, your Cody, your Brock Lesnar, unfortunately, people like that. It's like, when you look at the people who's most likely going to put over these up and coming people, it's like, unfortunately, the answer's probably Brock Lesnar, bro. Like, I can actually see Brock Lesnar putting over Bron Breakker. I can see Brock Lesnar actually putting over a Gunther. I can see Brock Lesnar actually doing those things because at the end of the day, he's just going to show up, get paid millions and 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 go home. Like that's the Brock method. You get me? So that's an unfortunate truth I'm feeling about the politics around this Mania season. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
unfortunately, as somebody that has been very heavy on the agenda for Seth versus Roman for about 5 years now. Um, I don't see it ever happening now. This was it. This was the year. It's not happening.
yeah, yeah. Punk I can see Punk probably putting over Breaker on this Netflix show, but we'll see how that plays out,
He
bro.
should. I think it depends on what is the plan going into Elimination Chamber, of course. Elimination
Hmm.
Chambers in Chicago. If he's going into Chicago and entering the chamber for a chance to get a world title match at the show, sure. If he's going in there defending the belt, that's also an interesting story as well. So I don't know.
Yeah. Kale said in the chat, "Have you guys seen his advertised for the Raw after Mania?" That's I've seen somebody already like debunk that on Twitter. It's like the graphic is from like this year's one that's just gone, and it hasn't been
Mhm.
like updated or whatever. It's something to those lines. But obviously, seeing it's not been isn't advertised for Raw after Mania. He's going to be retired, you know. But yeah, I won't get my hopes up too much with that. Ryan says 279. More likely, Sammy wins a belt at Mania. More likely, Sammy wins belt at WrestleMania in Saudi than the Royal Rumble. Um, I mean, I don't do either of them look likely at the moment. You know, it's
Not really.
but again, that's like I was saying earlier. That's just on the list of things that I think are absolutely criminal that they've. I wouldn't say they've got away with, but it's like they've got away with it more than they should have because like the Cena thing is what everyone's just fucking on them for at the moment, you know. But when you actually look up and down the card, bro, it's like Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? The successes are very few and far between, although there has been some, you know. Um,
Hmm.
but like some of the things that they've fumbled or that have fizzled out and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
even
I
just
mean,
like things like even just like Jay's booking, bro. Like as someone that loves Jay, it's been mad frustrating because I love Jay, but I'm very realistic about Jay. I know what his limitations are as a worker. Like even like this year, as the year's gone on, like you can see like bro's fucking struggling out there in some of those matches, like just the pain of it and that, you know what I'm saying? And that's like with him, he's already not at a very like amazing level that's gonna blow you away anyway. So like when he's feeling it, it's, do you know what I mean? Um, but it's like they've overexposed him, bro. And he's like,
yes.
this year on paper should be like the greatest year of Jay's career. Do you know what I mean? He won the Rumble, he went on to Mania, he won the belt, but bro, if you asked him that, I don't know if he'd feel that way. Do you know what I mean? Because you look at all like the fucking the stress of the position that he gets put in, and kind of like the fan reception of it, and all the criticism, all the blah blah blah. And I guess like obviously in his position, it's a lot easier to ignore. But it's like you can tell that like this run this past year has been wearing on him, whether it's psychologically or physically, you know. And he's been very overexposed. It's like yeah, he probably shouldn't have won the Rumble. You know what I mean? He probably shouldn't have beat Gunther by tapping him out at WrestleMania. And then, do you know what I mean? He goes on this reign that got very, very tired. And, you know, and then, like, when he drops the belt, I think a lot of fans were expecting it to kind of to get a little bit of a breather from Jey Uso, top guy, Jey Uso. And they just didn't. Like, he just kept getting, like, do you know what I mean? He ended up facing Punk for the vacant world title, which people were genuinely, like, terrified of the concept of him even touching that belt again. And he's like, you know, and it's just they've made fans that maybe might have been more on the fence resent him, you know, and it's
Yeah.
again, it's just another one of the things where they've fumbled the, you know, the groundswell of crazy popularity that he had, you know, and it feels like they've ran the Yeet thing into the mud. Like they've ran it into the mud, but like even at Survivor Series when he did the reload thing, it's like when you actually watch the crowd, not even that many of them were doing it compared to what they were doing a year ago. You know, like it's
Yeah.
mad, it's mad for him. So I do kind of have my sympathies for Jay because he's being overexposed, man. like
Yeah.
and
They've He's been definitely one of the big flops of the year for them. But also, when you think of like, just think of like where Gable was last year
Oh,
and
I
where
get
Gable is
another
now.
one.
Like
Perfect.
Gable is like completely like an afterthought now. You've run this stupid El Grande Americano thing for way too long. And I mean, just look at all of the guys that you have in the mix of the El Grande Americano bit now that are
Not a single bad wrestler, by the way,
like
that
that are
needs like a.
fantastic wrestlers, and you're wasting them on this comedy bit. Like, why?
that they could use anybody for. You could just get some fucking
Exactly. You
bozos. You could get
get
some bozos
anybody.
from the performance center and
You
just.
you've got Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne doing this. Like, and I mean, you know, kudos to Ludwig. Ludwig is making it work because he's just charismatic. But that stuff has a shelf life. Like, there's no future for Ludwig doing that long term.
Yeah, even in Mexico, it will eventually cool down. Like it's super super over in Mexico, but they aren't AAA wrestlers, so you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the concept of like yo, there's a group or whatever of wrestlers, and it's Chad Gable, Ludwig Kaiser, Tyler Bate, and Pete Dunne, and it's a comedy bit. Like, bro, that's a group that could be like a real like strong like mid card work rate group, like, but alas, they're doing this. But bro, like, I'm telling you, when you look up and down the card and you look at like the roster or whatever and what these people have done this year, and you look at the people that have had moments or momentum or should have just from the jump be getting given more, like the New Day and the Street Profits and people like that. It's like, bro, they've had a criminal year, man. Criminal. Um, I think this year from Triple H is comfortably the worst year that either him or Tony Khan have had since the creation of AEW. That's my. Is it? I
Yeah,
don't even think that would be a hot take, bro.
it's
Like,
not a hot take at all.
this is way worse than like I don't know, what would you call it, like 2022 Tony Khan or whatever, or Triple H when he lost his mind in the Wednesday Night Wars and was just hot shotting. Like, he's been worse than that this year, like
Yeah,
he's been comfortably he's had the worst year out of him or Tony in the past like 6 years or whatever it's been.
yeah.
Comfortably
This
for me.
this has definitely been his worst year, and then you add the trifecta of whatever HBK is doing on NXT and whatever Brian is doing on SmackDown. It's oof.
Yeah, it comes to something. But Sean has comfortably been the best booker in WWE this year, I think, which is like crazy because I don't rate Sean as a booker, man. But it's just there's certain aspects of what he does that I rate. You know what I mean? Like, I like how he shares the opportunities. He does it in a way that isn't like super like blatant and you can't buy into, but it feels like everybody gets their time to get their characters over and stuff, and do what they're supposed. It's a developmental and you can see it, do you know what I mean? But like the way he does the shared opportunities, obviously the way he pushes black talent, um, loads of different the women's division, like he has very strong points. Sean does, although generally I wouldn't class him as even good or even average. But to be honest, I would definitely have him below average. Um,
Yeah,
but I think in WWE this year, when you look at the booking, like the actual booking, like WWE has probably had better shows. They've got better talent and stuff. You know what I mean? But it's just, yeah, when you look at the actual creative of it, I think Sean's had NXT, Raw, SmackDown. I'd say NXT has been the most creatively switched on, or whatever you want to call it. So, and that's saying something, when I say Mark Calloway. Ryan said Undertaker's WWE Booker of the Year, not a joke. I haven't watched enough of the AAA shows, man. Fear over Pride, shout out being a member for a few months. I don't know if you guys saw the latest AAA show, but the Al Grande shit is hashtag serious. But like I said, I did see that part of it. Yeah, the Al Grande Vikingo match was hilariously hot, like you said. The finish was hilariously hot as well. And they do love him over there in AAA, but it's like, That would.
Yeah,
The thing is as well, to our point, what me and Phil were making is like, bro, that anybody could be under those masks, and
yeah. I
AAA
mean,
would be buying into all that shit. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah. That's
you
why I
know,
was saying like kudos to Ludwig because he's making the most out of the opportunity. But why did you need to add Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne in it? You could have added any two guys as his cronies. You didn't need to add two very good wrestlers to the mix. I don't know.
Mod Revolve, Tony Khan being a wrestling fan turned booker owner, putting on a better product than two WWE legends really is something. WWE's super complacent, man. Super complacent at the moment. Um,
I don't think that it's helped WWE. Um, the proximity to some of these AEW shows, and I know some of it is them trying to be petty, but like All Out was so much better than WrestlePalooza. Like it was like embarrassingly better. And I think when you see both products next to each other, you can see what AEW excels at, and you can see that WWE, in comparison, is kind of spinning its wheels, and the in ring product is so it's so different, man, and it's hard to unsee it when they're so close to each other. Like if you turn one show off and then turn the other show on right afterwards, it's hard to unsee the pace that WWE matches go at, the average WWE match. And I think the same thing happened with the War Games matches. Coming off two really good blood and guts matches and getting the War Games, and we got two pretty boring War Games. It was like, and I'm sure
yeah,
that doesn't bother most people if you're just a WWE fan and WWE is like your ideal wrestling brand. This probably doesn't bother you. But if you watch both shows, it's hard to not see how distant the in-ring product is.
no, I agree 100%. Especially like the points you made about because similar to what I was saying about Survivor Series and Blood and Guts, man. It's like even if that's not you, even if you're not super into like the blood and the gore of Blood and Guts, like the contrast is so.
Yeah.
It's just that the whole vibe of that match. Do you know what I mean? It's just completely different to what they did at Survivor Series, and obviously, I'm not even just talking about the blood and gore. It's just like the vibe and the violence and the the intensity and things like that of it. Like it was just
Yeah.
completely
I mean,
different.
yeah, I think that the women came out with something to prove in a blood and guts match.
Yeah.
This was the first ever blood and guts match. I think that they very much came out to steal that show, and they succeeded at that. On the other hand, the women's War Games match was really just, paint by numbers again.
Mhm. Yeah. And of course, like WrestlePalooza was super bad. And it's like, I agree. Like Kale says, like I didn't have a lot of fun with All Out, but in terms of just like the contrasting products, and it's just like when WWE puts on a stinker that's like even poorly received by their fans that don't give a fuck about AEW or hate AEW or whatever, it's like. And then AEW just come along, or 2 weeks before, put on like a great show that all their fans absolutely fucking loved off. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It's the contrast this year because of what Phil's saying. The show's been so close to each other because of whatever political or petty reasons. Like it does highlight some of the things, man. So Kyle said they don't rely enough on their actual good work in WWE, which is weird because when Triple H first took over creative, like that is something that he leaned on a lot. Which is why all this shit makes no sense to me. Like what we was talking about earlier, where it's like they just fucking phoned it in for the War Games build and then unpaused everything last night, and it's just like. And then Triple H used to rely on his workers, and then they don't anymore. It's like, bro, I'm telling you, Triple H cannot be as involved as as most people think he is. Because when he first took over creative and he was on it, bro, you could see the little things like the Triple H isms. Do you know what I mean? The matches, the way certain things were presented, the leather jackets, like just even dumb things like I just said with the leather jackets. Like you could see the Triple H isms. You don't see them as much anymore, bro. I'm telling you, I'm not just going mad. Talk to people that know ball. They'll tell you the same thing.
I agree. I think like you said, a lot of this is on autopilot. I think that he's very much been in this mode of trying to look like the front man, uh He's trying to do this UFC model where he's out front as like this figurehead of the company, and even that has gotten very tired to see. It's like, dude, we get it. Like the credits and everything, you coming out to open shows and
Yeah,
just dial it back, man.
it's the thing is as well, like they try, you can tell like they tried to do the UFC thing with like making Triple H the Dana White and being the front man, and then there was that report of Triple H having Dana envy, which was unbelievably funny. But so the thing is, bro, like UFC. Okay, Dana White's the front man. I think he's a fucking prick and everything, whatever. You know, he's obviously a very popular guy. He's a big name, and he's somebody that can, you know, he's good for the press conferences for them because he's a recognizable name and blah 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 blah. But it's like the UFC has Hunter Campbell, who
Yeah.
actually like books things, and he's actually like proven at being like very good at his job. You know, whereas like who would be the Hunter Campbell in WWE? Road Dogg. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are we like? What the fuck are we doing? So yeah, Triple H is definitely either like coasting on autopilot, like Phil's saying, or what I'm saying, like about he's not. He's nowhere near as involved as you thought. It's like a couple of times this year where it's been like, oh, he's not at TV,
Yeah,
and it's like he doesn't book SmackDown. It's half of his job. He's the creative. He's head of creative. WWE do Raw and SmackDown. If he's not booking SmackDown, what the fuck? That's half his job. Well, it's
yeah. You've got the report about him being more and more involved in stuff at the White House, and that he split his attention with that and wrestling, and it's like, yeah, none of this sounds great, and yeah, I still, I still am not I'm still not going to be surprised if we see a Trump appearance at a Saturday Night Main Event. Not going to be surprised.
It's like Drew Barrymore when he had his cup of coffee on the channel, he was saying like, hey man, like all the suites at that venue, they all got like, you know, like privately reserved, like because basically the assumption is that they're going to be having a lot of like government officials and important people there, and so for them to like take all the suites off sale, you know, it's feeling Trumpy to me. So but anyway, to Kale's point, I don't really like
Oh, this Eddie Yankee, Trumpy.
Come on, man. But yeah, Kale, they don't rely enough on their actual good work as WWE, but it's like this is why, again, like I say what I said about Sean earlier, man. Like Ryan said in the chat, NXT is goofy, and Michaels knows he's not a good booker. Which, if anybody that as I don't know, if you speak to anybody inside, like Shawn Michaels isn't exactly parading himself around like this savant of booking. He's very much the opposite. He's very, very modest when it comes to that. Even on the media calls, he says like, "Hey man." Like, so, but yeah, NXT is goofy, and Michaels knows he's not a good booker, but he believes in his roster, bro. And you feel like you can feel that. Do you know what I mean? No matter how bad or good the show is, it's like Sean lets his talent either thrive or hang themselves out there, man. So, he does believe in his goals, bro, and his goals.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. NXT is definitely not for me. I've tapped out on NXT a long time ago, but yeah, you could definitely see that he believes in his roster.
Yeah. There's a Triple H probably barely even fucking notice who shows up to TV half the time. Since the sort of mode that he's in. But anyway, what else happened on Raw? What have I got? Yes. Stephanie Vick had like a little promo backstage. I think the main point of that though was so they could do the Liv Morgan face off, which obviously is an interesting one for the future. Liv Morgan is obviously going to be coming for that title sooner or later. It's a baby, man, you know. So yeah, that's another part of Liv Morgan on the show, and then we got the Vision segment, which obviously is the Bron Breakker promo, but it starts off Heyman comes out talking some bullshit, gassing up Brock Lesnar, Logan Paul, all the worst people you can think of, you know. Obviously he's just doing like a heel promo though, you know, about winning war games and that. I should mention as well that like CM Punk was announced as not cleared to compete. At like the start of Raw. I think it would be pretty fair to assume at this point that was obviously a little bit of a cover for what we found out today. With obviously Larry's dog passing away, so they're probably, you know what I mean, he probably has been, you know, he's at home with AJ, blah blah blah. So, so yeah, Punk's not around, and you know Heyman's cutting his Vision heel promo, and then, you know, blah 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 blah. Heyman then announces that CM Punk versus Bron Breakker is officially set for the World Heavyweight title on the first Netflix of the year, which also is the 1 year anniversary of WWE on Netflix. So it sounds like they're making an occasion out of that, you know, kind of their, I don't know, it'll be kind of like day one, I assume. You know, they want to make like the 1 year anniversary, like this big show. So, so yeah, that's been announced. And then Bron Breakker gets the mic, bro, and he just goes off on CM Punk, talking about how, you know, he really thought he would have to go to. He was surprised by like how easy it was to just beat CM Punk, pin him in the middle of the ring, and he thought it was going to be this life-changing experience to go up against CM Punk, and he would have to dig deep and find this new level to defeat CM Punk, but that wasn't the case, and CM Punk's just a soft-ass bitch, and, you know, things that CM Punk needs to be worrying about is that he's not even the biggest star in his own home, and he's going to... One of the things I liked was when he got really fired up and he threw his jacket off at the end, and he said that he's going to... What did he say? He's going to steal every memory from what the fans have of him, and he's just wants him to look in his eyes, and you're going to know that you aren't, you know, you're not the best in the world, because he is. And he was... Yeah, man, like this was obviously built up to be a epic promo, you know, like you could tell that like that's what they were going for, but I think Bron Breakker definitely delivered. Call me mad, but I was getting a little bit of MJF from this, bro. I was getting a little MJF off it. I was getting a little bit of MJF off him, a little bit. Like at the end when he got really like fucking amped up, I was like, yo, this is... Yeah. MJF does this sometimes. You know when MJF does like his fake flair bit, you know? Yeah. Yeah, but this was a great promo, wasn't it, Phil? What did you think?
Am I off with this Heyman thing? Did it seem like he was trying to play into the idea that he was going to give that kid a shout out and he didn't?
I don't know.
That's kind of how it felt. Like he was like, indulge me for a minute.
Honestly, I haven't.
I'm gonna give some shout outs, and then he proceeded to shout out wrestlers and not the kid that he very forcefully shoved out the way. Yeah, that's almost how I read it. Maybe I read too much into it because I had seen that clip of him pushing the kid way too many times that day. But it did feel like his kind of smarky way of going like, I'm not apologizing for that if that's what you're looking for. And I think that the Bron segment was good because we've been waiting for him to be this assertive again for an entire month. And I think it played off very well that he had this pent up frustration of all this time of waiting for his chance to talk, waiting until we got through all of this. I think one of the highlights of the men's War Games match was just like the final sequence of it, of him getting the win and him coming out on top in all of this. And the promo was good because it was the usual intensity that we've come to expect of him. I don't think he said anything that really lit the world on fire, but his delivery was so good. And like I said, we've been anticipating it. And I think he knocked this out the park. I do want them to get some new material for Seth. Stop doing this whole your wife is more famous than you, Seth. You guys have been saying this since 2018. Come up with something new to say about Seth.
No, I hear it 100%. Because that line didn't really land. If anything, that was probably like the only down point of that promo for me. You know, because it's kind of like, oh, the CM Punk needs to worry about is what no.
Well, he was talking about Seth because
the CM Punk thing, all of them. I don't want to be hearing your wife's a bigger star than you, and that's like meant to be like this super like Bron Breakker just simply saying that, yo, I thought you was gonna bring me more than what you did, and you're a soft ass bitch, and it was too easy to beat you, and I'm gonna take your belt off you. Like, you don't need to throw in there, oh, your wife's a bigger star than you. Then like, obviously with the Seth thing, as Phil said, they've been doing it for what, like you said, since 2018. We're about to go into 2026. It's like, all right, bro. Like,
find some new
You know,
material on Seth at this point.
on
Like,
both of them.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, I thought like again him bringing up that Seth held him down and like um sure maybe, but that's why I'm like everything he said in the promo wasn't it didn't light the world on fire, but I think his delivery is what really sold me on it.
Yeah, it
And
was.
at this point, I'm already sold on the idea of him as champion. I do like the symmetry of the very first episode of Raw on Netflix was Punk talking about how much it meant to him to main event WrestleMania, win a world championship, and now he's coming into uh, the same episode a year later as champion, and a Seth acolyte is coming in to try to beat him when he beats Seth on that episode. Now, I don't know if that was intentional, but that's a nice piece of symmetry.
Yeah, though I'm sure if they become aware of it, they'll make it some, even if it's not meant to be part of
Yeah.
what they're doing. Um, but yeah, man, to Phil's point as well, like I do think the Bron Breaker's ready for a world title. I think that's why the conversation around the old guys at the top is whether it's mainly obviously of course mainly WWE. I don't think AEW really struggle with like pushing their young guys, to be honest, even if Samoa Joe is the current world champion, which I'm also very happy about. So I'm a hypocrite, but I'm a wrestling fan. So I think with WWE it's a bit more frustrating because they do have guys that I truly, truly, truly believe in, man, that can like make big waves, Even like again to the Gunther thing, it's like Gunther should already have wins over like everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone and like Jacob Fatu, Obafemi, Bron Breakker. Obviously, I think Bron Breakker should probably be like Bron Breakker should absolutely beat CM Punk.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know how the mania politics and stuff are playing out and if that will happen, but as of right now, today, kayfabe, whatever, do you know what I mean? Like what we know, what we're supposed to know, if that makes sense. Like Bron Breakker should absolutely be beating CM Punk on that Raw. I think I would do it convincingly as well than do like a real match in the pay per view. You know what I mean? Main event. Similar to like like how they laid out the Max Punk program. You know what I mean? You start with like no, I wouldn't do the squash as fucking like as blatant as the Max one, because that was like mad, still to this day. But it would be like in the sense of like Bron would win absolutely convincingly, and then Punk has to kind of like go to the drawing board and dig deep. Do you know what I mean? And then Punk gets one back, wins the belt back, and then Bron definitively beats him again after have like a big epic fucking blow off match. So, yeah, man. Shout out Bron Breakker. I think he's ready. I think there's a few guys that are ready, which is what's so frustrating with all the politics at the top end. But Bron Breakker, man, I think out of all the guys that I just mentioned, I think out of all of them, he probably has the best chance.
Not Dominic Mysterio.
I like Dom a lot, bro, but it's.
Listen, man. Hey, man. Number
I
one
like
wrestler
him a
under
lot.
30. Okay.
Criminal, man. Criminal. Saying this to Joe, because like, when Bleacher Report, your boys did the fucking 30 under 30 list.
I
Me and
had
Joe
nothing
went
to do with that list.
I know. Me and Joe went over that list, and I think we did like our own, and then obviously ESPN have done one, and like Dom's top of that. And I think both of them are just gone. The top two is clearly MJF and Rhea Ripley. Like they're not even seen as young talents anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like bona fide top stars, bro. Like they shouldn't even be on those lists. Like that's how deep it is with those two. Like literally, arguably two of like the top. You could argue that they definitely are two of the top 10 stars in the whole business. You know what I mean? And man's just saying like, oh, Dominic Mysterio, even bro, Cole Fletcher's a phenomenal talent, bro. Phenomenal. Yeah. Like he will get there, but like if we're talking like superstars 30 under 30s, like he's got ways to go before you can kind of put him in that like category of like MJF and Rhea. And it's the same with all of the people on that list, even Dom, even who else is on there that's like super fucking, I don't know, man. But like, yeah, them two being below like Dominic Mysterio is just, oh, come on, man. And I like Dom a lot, but
Yeah,
come on, man.
and the thing people were telling me when I was like, "This is kind of crazy," they're like, "Yeah, we're basing this off the years they're having." I'm like, "But wait a minute, are you then telling me that you think Dom had a better year than Obafemi? I don't think he did.
He didn't, but you know,
I
they're just Dom's just, I don't know. People love it.
yeah yeah
People love Dom, bro. He's the best under 20. He's a prodigy. People do. I love Dom a lot, and I like him a lot, and I think he's very good at certain things, and he's very good in his spot specifically. But when
yeah
people do the whole thing of like he's a generational, you know, he's the best young wrestler. He's a future WrestleMania main event, and it's like, bro, I don't see all that, man. I don't see all that, and I like him a lot. So, you know,
yeah. I my growing gripe that I have with a lot of other people. I'm not going to do this rant. I I'm trying not to do this rant, but the propaganda around this is getting pretty sickening at this point. Um, I think that my growing gripe with a lot of people that podcast regularly, like me or you, or that are like in the wrestling bubble that like talk about wrestling all the time. It's just so obvious to me when some of the takes are disingenuous. It's so obvious when some people are trying to do the I want to be first to say it so I can come back and say I said it first. It's so obvious in this age of reactions, people doing these very inauthentic reactions. And for me, listening to these things, as somebody that also does it, I don't know how some of these people can get past the idea that I'm doing these things that I clearly don't believe, but I want my listeners to believe it, and it's just like it just I don't see how you could possibly think that that works. It just doesn't, and I wish some people would stop doing it. And there are people I really like to do it, and I'm just like, guys, you don't have to do that, man. Just stop doing
pro
it,
wrestling,
please,
bro.
please stop doing
Amen.
that.
Pro wrestling, bro. Over exaggerations, hype, fake.
Just,
It all sells, bro.
well,
Kayfabe,
hype.
you know.
Some of the hype around this is just like, come on, bro. Like it. I've seen a lot of people that are like, why do you hate Dom? I don't hate Dom. I just think the idea that people are trying to put this kid at this level that he's not is laughable. Like, just stop
Yeah,
doing this, man. We all see it. Like, just stop doing it.
yeah. So him topping that list again, but it's like again, like, some of the people that you would compare him to. Like the idea again to what Phil's saying, like the idea that Dominic Mysterio is like a better under 30 talent than Rhea Ripley is genuinely like it's beyond laughable. Like what? Um, but whatever. And that's just one example, you know. But MJF, maybe even more so when you think of like his skill set as a performer. 'Cause
I
MJF is top, bro. Like, he just
People
is.
tried to laugh me off Twitter because somebody was like, nobody on that list is better than him at wrestling and all. I'm like, dude, he does nothing better than MJF. He's not a better talker than him. He's not a better wrestler than him. He does nothing better than Max.
Hey man, a lot of people don't. Fear over pride, $5. I don't know if you've spoken about TNA yet. Yeah, we're gonna do that probably right now. But given their new deal, are there any roster additions you do think they're likely to make, or anyone you'd like to see? We'll come circle back to that very, very shortly. 187 Mars. 4.99. Appreciate it. Does Triple H come out during John Cena's final standing ovation? Listen to me. Yeah, brother. I think 100%. Like when I
He
was half
absolutely will.
joking. Yeah, I was half joking, but I'm not joking actually. Like I thought I was joking at the time when I said that. Like
He definitely is.
yeah, like they're gonna like hopefully Cena gets like 15, 20 minutes left in the broadcast after his match ends, and then you do all the ceremony and like you know he gets to talk to the people. He gets his standing O. You know, people are gonna come out with flowers. You know, Stephanie and Triple H are gonna come out and give him a fucking plaque or some bullshit or like some special title. Or do you know what I mean? Like they're gonna do some bullshit like that. So I don't think it will be like this beautiful somber moment of just seeing her taking in the crowd and getting his standing ovation and just being given the mic and being able to talk. Like, I think it's going to be like this. It's going to be produced like he's probably like Trump's going to get in the fucking ring and shake
Oh
his
my
hand and
god.
like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh
it's going
my
to be some
god.
horse shit, bro. But to answer your question in short, yes. Do I think Triple H? Of course I do, bro. Of course I do. He will be. He will be. He will be there. All right, TNA definitely took. I was actually thinking of doing this a bit higher up on the show, but we kind of went in. Oh no, one last thing from Raw. The main event, the Charlotte and Alexa versus Rio. I thought it was a very good match. Obviously, up until it wasn't with the no finish. It wasn't exact, and I don't mind them like having a no finish to that match, but it's like, can we do something a bit more creative? You know, like when the
Yeah,
Kabuki Warriors just simply running out there and just stomping on everyone and just doing a double
yeah.
DQ. You know, it's
They
just
they do it so often now. They end so many of the main events that way that it was very predictable that that's how it was going to end, and not in a good
shame.
way.
It's a shame. It's a shame because I really like the match, man. Like for obvious reasons. Like I think Charlotte and Rhea have like. They have like really like Charlotte's been an interesting one on this run back because although she's been able to get through her matches and she's had some good matches, especially with like Lexi as a tag partner, her chemistry with certain people has still been a little bit hit and miss and stuff. But like with Rhea, it like they seem to just click into each other like nothing happened, you know. So like that's always good. Just four real pros, brother. You know, Io's so sharp at the moment. Rhea is very distinct and like the stuff that she does gets over very well. Charlotte is obviously Charlotte. She has her when she's on, and she has her nights like last night. Like she will always make matches better. Alexa's just a pro, brother. Like, what a pro, just what a pro. but but yeah, obviously the finish kind of let it down, man. It's very similar to kind of what I was saying about Jay and Knight, man. Like they had a very very good match, I thought, where the finish just I get that the actual result of the finish, like Knight squeezing one out and the no finish in the main event. Like I get them like as a concept, but I think there could be more creative, thoughtful ways of doing that. So, but a very good Raw. Again, just the creative at this company is very very confusing because it's like, if you can put on a Raw that why was your Raw after Survivor Series like substantially better than Survivor Series? Huh?
Yeah,
What? What the fuck?
yeah,
Who's
yeah,
booking this? Who's
yeah.
really in control here?
The go home show to Survivor Series was not great, and then the pay per view wasn't great. But I thought this Raw was a lot better. Yeah, you gotta give Charlotte and Alexa a lot of credit. As a tag team, they've really turned it on as kind of a main event act, and I thought every time they've given them that spot on Raw, they've knocked it out the park. And I thought that this match was really good. I think that all of the stuff that they did to build interest in stuff going forward with the tag division, having the Kabuki Warriors come out there, even though I wasn't in love with the finish, I do like where they're going with it story wise, adding Bailey and Lyra to the mix, and then Judgment Day. Already, you've got like 5 tag teams right there in the mix, and whatever you're gonna do with that, I'm already invested in that because like you've got so much talent there in those tag teams.
Yeah, man. It's yeah, that was like definitely a promising thing coming out of the show, especially with like closing Raw. Like, so, like Liv had like even just like outside of just the tag division, like Liv was a big part of the show. She had like 3 or 4 different separate segments. And obviously she closed the show with Raquel, hands up, arms raised, belts in hand. So, again, yeah, a good Raw, good for the women's tag division, good for Liv Morgan's return, good for Bron Breakker. There was a lot of good. You know what I mean? The last time is now had its best round by far. I know it's the
Yeah.
shortest round because it's only 2 matches, but it was still the best round by far. And yeah, I'm really happy about LA Knight versus Gunther. Very happy about that. Real wrestling lives, brother. You know. Solo Sikoa, you get me the street champion. Okay, TNA TV deal, multi-year deal, $30 million. Obviously, I don't think that's per year because that would be like the NXT deal, and I doubt they've got the same as the NXT deal. It's probably like a 3 or 4 year deal, so around between $5 and $10 million a year. You know, on AMC, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern, a little bit later. So I do wonder if that allows them to have a bit more freedom with the content that they can do and say and blah blah blah. I wonder. I don't know. Yeah, because when the rumors and reports were really starting to emerge last night, one of the only worries I had was like, I hope they don't do the Wednesdays. You know, I hope they don't do the whole like head to head with AEW thing. You know, blah 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 blah. So happy to see that they're sticking to their Thursday night slot, even though it's a little bit later. And I think overall, even if it was on Wednesday night, I still think, broadly speaking, it's a good thing for wrestling. You know, I don't think this will make them a third powerhouse in the US with WWE and AEW. Absolutely not. But they're another player in the game. You know, they're another player in the game. It's another option for wrestlers to go to. It's a viable option. I feel like a lot of fans already seen it as a very viable option for a lot of wrestlers anyway. Now more so than ever, you know, because of course they've got the TV deal and the WWE partnership now. So it does seem like a very viable job, you know, for the wrestlers, which is also obviously always good at the end of the day. You know, it's what we've said about AEW for the past 6 years. Even people that aren't the biggest fans of AEW as a product have at least given that. So obviously the same goes to TNA. So I'm going to give them a chance, just like I did when they changed the name back to TNA from Impact. That didn't last very long. I don't know if this will. But yeah, man, so before we start, I guess, like, thinking about potential signings or anything, yeah, man, they finally got it over the line, Phil. Like I said, it's been kind of... How long has the word been going around about a possible TNA TV deal, man?
For a minute. I think if this was one of the main goals of this partnership with WWE, then I feel like there's at least some success here. On a booking side, you could probably poke some holes in how much that has
100%.
benefited the TNA wrestlers for sure. But I think on the business side, the fact that they finally got a TV deal out of this, and you got to assume a lot of that came from working with WWE this year, then that's a positive coming out of this partnership. The problem, as I see it, and this is back to what I was saying about, you know, their wrestlers this year, I don't know that they have the big star to be the face of this era of TNA on TV.
Wow.
And then
well,
on top
Phil
of
Lindsay,
and then
I've
on
got
top
a
of that,
suggestion for you.
oh boy. And then on top of that, like all the stars that feel like they're bubbling up, they already are en route to WWE. It feels like WWE has poached quite a few of the big names that they had. And so I don't know what that leaves them with going into this TV deal.
Listen, man, we all know what the play is. No one's saying it. Well, someone said it at the start of the show in the live chat, but Chris Jericho, TNA, it's the move, Phil. It's the move. Like, listen, if you're Jericho, this is what you do, yeah. You get in TNA, you get a nice contract off them, you'll be the highest paid guy there, and you also get to take credit for getting them a TV deal, even though we all know that's not real. So, Jericho, just try sign for TNA, and you get to say on podcasts that you got him a TV deal. Add that to your legacy of what you did for AEW and New Japan, combined with obviously like the 20 years of WWE and WCW stuff. You know what I mean? We're adding to your legacy, Jericho. There. Then from TNA's point of view, let's be honest, bro. Like, I know Jericho, what we've seen in the past 2 years or so, is not what we want to be seeing in AEW, and he's washed, and he's this and that, and he's past it creatively, and he doesn't have good ideas anymore. But TNA can't get a name anywhere near as close in terms of like potential like a top guy that they could have for a little bit. You know, I'd be giving Jericho like a 2-year contract, to be honest, and he would be you know, he wouldn't. I don't know how I'd play it. I wouldn't play it exactly like AEW did, because obviously Jericho's capabilities aren't the same as what they were in 2019. But it would be very similar, Phil. They ain't, like you said, bro. They haven't got anybody, man. Like like Jericho. You know, so what we want. He's still a huge name, bro, and a lot of people still fuck with him. You can tell that from just the amount of WWE fans that like are excited about the prospect of him being in the Rumble. He could still do the Rumble if he wanted to, and he can always do his retirement run in WWE. I don't think that's coming off the table over the next couple of years. To be honest, I think if Jericho did go to TNA for a year, 2 years, 18 months or whatever, and then reached out to Triple H, WWE, and was like, "Hey man, I want to do a little retirement angle," I think they'd still take it, you know. So
why'd you make that sound like a jail sentence or something? Like they propositioned the guy, like, "Oh, you're trying to come back over here?" Like, listen, you was running your mouth a little bit over there in AEW. Why don't you do like 18 months in TNA and then we'll talk? Like,
listen, man, why to TNA, bro? Think of the merch. Think of the absolute horseshit that he would be on if he got like, because he would be given the key. Like I said, like I wouldn't do exactly like AEW, but he would probably still get given the keys. You get me? And it's like, you know, he'd swing.
that sounds god awful. I just.
Who else gonna be your top guy? Who else gonna be your top guy then, Phil? Who's gonna get them viewers on AMC? Because I know Chris Jericho, the Hardy Boys, Bubba. This is so tier. Well, we gotta keep the spirit of TNA alive, man. Like this.
What is your women's division gonna be at this point? Like they hitched their wagon.
I don't even know what it is now, bro. I don't watch TNA. I will be in January, but I don't know.
Well, Zaya's current Knockouts champion, but they hitched their wagon to Masha, and now Masha's off TV.
Who's women's champion?
Zaya Lee, or like what's her name
now?
Li
Ying Lee.
Yes, she's the current Knockouts champion. But like they hitched their wagon to Masha, and then Masha had a very controversial year. She has not been on TV since some allegations came out about her.
Bro. Yeah, she's cooked.
And then you've got Tessa on your roster, kind of in limbo.
Is Harley Hudson any good, chap? She's got a cool look, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think you've clearly got to do some big signings soon. Maybe the TV deal will entice more wrestlers to want to come there. I still think the biggest hurdle for them, because they usually don't have a problem signing tag teams or getting like women's wrestlers there. Obviously, you've got a guy in Leon Slater who you can continue to push in the X division, but the biggest hurdle is going to be getting a top star or a main eventer there that's not going to see TNA as a stepping stone.
Listen, when Jericho lies down in the middle of the ring for the TNA World Championship and puts over, who would fit your description? You can't even say Leon Slater or Santana because they're going WWE, and it like when Jericho lies down and puts over Mustafa Ali,
bro.
Listen, people will be moved, Phil. People will be moved. Who else even on this fucking roster that would fit that description? Because obviously there is good wrestlers, obviously, but I can just see a lot of them just going WWE, innit? And I'd rather kill myself and say anything positive about Moose on a show. Matt Cardona.
Jesus.
And see, you know what I mean, bro? JDC, he's retiring. Eric Young. Desmond Xavier. Fuck it, man. Wesley, we're heating you back up, brother. That's what we're doing.
They've got to make a big signing and just like
It's
try to build
Jericho,
somebody.
Phil.
I mean,
Who
I
else
like.
would it be, man? Like
I
it's
mean, like
Jericho.
I feel like they've got to do something bold though. Like they've got to go and find like the problem is there aren't any like big standout indie draws anymore. Like
You need to pick up what I'm telling you, man. You need
there's good
to.
indie wrestlers they can sign and then eventually build upon like the buzz they have. Like but I again like to the level that they can make them like the face of the brand immediately. I don't think that's out there.
Yeah, because there's literally that's why I'm so hell bent on Jericho, bro. You know, I ain't some Jericho lover. You know, that's always putting him over. It's just like for this situation, TNA does need a signing like that. I 100% agree with you. But Jericho is the only one, bro. There isn't. Who else is there? Do you know what I mean? There isn't. What they're gonna do? Sign Naito? You know,
Yeah.
like,
Oh
and
man.
Naito wouldn't work for that anyway. But like,
I mean,
someone said,
uh,
"Oh God, it's gonna be Cross."
I mean, if you need somebody of like that caliber, and now that Don isn't there, like he probably could mend some fences with Cross, but I still don't think Cross is the needle mover you need, like going into a
He's
new
not.
TV deal. And I
Jericho's
just
the only
don't think
one.
that signing is out there. I don't think that there's big enough signing out there to make that big of an impact. Other than like you're saying Jericho, but uh, man, I just have no interest in that.
You just gotta accept it, bro. You ain't gonna be watching it anyway, so you're good. You're good, man. You good. I'll keep
um,
you updated. Jericho and Ziggler are gonna create movies, bro. You
bro,
know.
that's your main event scene in 2025.
Yeah, fire,
Ziggler
bro.
and Jericho. Wow.
um. Yeah, I'm trying. There literally isn't anybody else. Like I was trying to think women then.
You could probably sign some women and you know make someone like a project for the next year or so, and that would work. But you know that's never their issue. Like they always can heat up the knockouts division. They can always, pull something out with the X division or even the tag division. It's just getting a main eventer to be the face of the brand. That's always the stumbling point for TNA. Well, it has been for the last few years at least.
Definitely. Uh, Someone said Dakota Kai is free. A great signing, but obviously it wouldn't be the face of a promotion level. Kale says, how much do you think they could do in the debut if they let them borrow Rhea? Obviously, they draw a crazy number. Rhea's like the idea
They
of
gotta
say if they did like Rhea in the Knockouts Championship match, like the number would be big. Kale is the point I'm getting at. You know, I won't confuse myself with like how that would actually look, but yeah, they do good business, man.
they
They do some.
they they cannot let themselves get caught into the ECW on Spike TV route of really doing an offshoot of WWE's programming. They have to do something that is unique to them. They have to do a TNA show. And I know the temptation is there to do that, to do a WWE light show, but that is not a good idea
No,
long
yeah,
term.
no, 100%. They gotta be their own show, but I think obviously in
Yeah.
this like fantasy scenario, like Rhea's obviously not one of like the WWE like off gas. You know what I mean? She's one of their biggest stars, and in a realistic world, that wouldn't even happen anyway. And it'd probably be more of the same of what we've already seen of like mid carders and stuff winning their world titles and blah 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 blah. But yeah, like if they obviously it would be too much to turn down if they actually got like the Rias or like imagine if they were like, oh, you want Roman, like you're not turning that down, but like it's
See, I
never
don't even
happening.
think WWE is going to do that. If they
Yeah,
give
it's not
them
happening.
If they give them a wrestler, it's going to be the same pattern as before.
Yeah,
They're going to keep sending
yeah,
NXT wrestlers over there.
yeah. But yeah, obviously, Carl, if the opportunity arose, like, oh, for you one night only for your debut, we'll let you have Roman Reigns or Rhea Ripley. And obviously, you're gonna take that, like, but
Roman pulling up to the impact zone sounds hilarious.
um, that you want to they should what they should actually do, like on the TV debut, is get like AJ or something, man. Um, that's
AJ.
AJ. When it comes to like WWE's like you offshoot or people they're not really using too much at the moment. I know AJ is a current tag champ, but obviously he's not exactly super focused on it at the moment. AJ is the one exception, 100%. Like, you know, I don't care if you're WWE light or not. You know what I mean? Like AJ returning to TNA is very much a moment that they should strive to try and achieve before AJ fucking hangs the boots up, because I think that's unfortunately going to be sooner rather than later. So they need to make that happen, bro. Carlos Silva, he's an interesting guy, isn't he? But yeah, TNA, bro. They need to sign Jericho. I'd sign Jericho.
They need
I
to
would
start
sign.
Jericho.
I'd sign Jericho. I'd sign Dakota Kai. I probably would sign Karrion Cross. After that quick glance at the roster, obviously you guys know I love Nemeth, like Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth. I think Desmond Xavier, if he's physically feeling better than he did when he first came back from injury in WWE and when he first turned heel, I would, I'd focus on him a lot. I would focus on like Leon Slater, obviously, whilst you've still got him. Obviously Santana, whilst you've still got him. The women's division does need some juice though. Like the Dakota Kai signing is actually probably quite important for them to make. I think it would turn out if they did do that. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I'm not really worried about the women's side because I feel like there are more women's wrestlers on the indie scene that you could sign, and they could turn into like a great signing for you. Like, there's a ton of potential that they could work with there, but the immediate issue is that they need main eventers, and
there's
the
only
answer is
one.
Jericho, man. I don't know, man. That's
It is,
that's quite
Phil.
a gamble,
Just
bro.
accept it, bro. Just accept it. It's not even a gamble because there's no other options. You know them ones. No, maybe if something comes out where it's like, oh, Bailey's contract's up, then cool, they should sign Bailey, innit? But like, Jericho's the only person that fits the description of what you're saying, even if he is like a few years past it, you know.
Yeah.
His name value is still very, very strong, man. Yeah. Fear over pride. They're probably going AEW, brother. You know, my
Yeah.
world and high end. You know, they've pretty much already got the foot in the door, haven't they? So, Carmen Petrovic, yeah, they need to do more with her, bro, in WWE, man. She's a very solid prospect, but they had to doing that horrible storyline with
Yeah.
I forgot bro's name, Ashante.
Oh, yeah, that was bad. But then also this TV deal starts in January. Um, WWE usually does some releases around April. Of course,
We'll see, man.
not wishing anybody to lose their job, but I do foresee some releases again in April, and that would give them, some opportunities to bring some wrestlers in. Eventually later next, because I think they're going to be able to sign wrestlers. Because again, I do think now that they have a TV deal and they're on a channel like AMC, that will entice more wrestlers to come there.
100%.
But it's just getting past the stigma that TNA has been saddled with for so long that it's not a long-term destination. It's a stepping stone for a lot of people. You go there, heat yourself up, and then go where you really want to go. And so I don't know how they get past that hurdle, especially with this current partnership with WWE.
That's why I just think I don't know, it's it's going to be an interesting few months, isn't it? It's going to be a very interesting few months. It's like even with the releases, like they probably won't release anybody with the name stature of Jericho. Someone said Braun Strowman. He's physically obviously I don't know now because he's been out of the ring for a minute and he's been like doing his TV show and all that and he's been chilling, but like physically he was pretty beat up, man.
Yeah.
And he likes his money, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably why he's still not at WWE now, and it's because they had him on a big contract again, and it's just,
Hey,
it's
a lot of
yeah.
these people like their money, which is totally
He's
understandable.
done. You know what, Braun. I know he's not in the business really now. He doesn't really look like he may return because a lot of people thought he was done last time, and he came back to WWE and had a nice little run, but um. He's made good money for how little time he's been in the business. Do you know what I mean? Like he was only been in the business since like what the mid 2010s. Do you know what I mean? And then you know he's been on like a couple multi-million-dollar contracts. Like, and he's done well, man. So he's obviously if he was physically up to it, obviously he would be quite a viable signing for them. Like obviously not the same name value as Jericho, but a big name. Braun Strowman is. So yeah, man. But that's about it from me and Phil, I think. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about, Phil. We good? Raw, TNA, anything from the C2 maybe from AEW that you want to mention?
Yeah, C2. I love that the C2 really works as a reset for
Yeah.
AEW's programming, and so far so good. First week has been solid so far. I think we got some great matches already. Looking forward to this week's matches on Dynamite. I'm still not sure what the direction is with Hangman and Joe. I'm still not sure where we're going with that, but I'll see. I don't know.
We're getting one of my favourite matches, bro. One of my Everyone knows how much I love multi-man matches, your triple threats, your fatal four ways, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
definitely think we're getting a triple threat.
I think we're getting a fatal four way.
They're gonna add Max to the mix.
I don't know, Max and Jay White could return or some bullshit. I don't know. Max obviously is quite a viable one, makes a lot of sense, but yeah, I think they'll, because they like to do four, don't they, with these? But anyway, one of my favourite matches. I'll tell you what, I'm actually genuinely looking forward to though. Samoa Joe, Eddie Kingston face to face.
Yeah, should be a great promo.
Oh,
It should be a great segment.
oh,
Hopefully,
I'll be
they
buzzing.
definitely they need something to you know heat this up because I thought coming out of Joe's win, the segment that they aired this week, well,
Oh,
last
that
week,
was
sorry, on
garbage,
Dynamite.
bro.
I was not feeling that. I was like,
It was
yeah,
garbage.
that's how you start off his title reign. I don't know if that's it, guys.
Just it was like Joe came out with the titles on each shoulder, and that's where the good things stopped. You know,
Yeah, he started the segment and then he did the everybody here's Hook and I was like, that's that's where we're going with this.
a lot of Titantron as well. But
Yeah,
but yeah, man, looking forward to that. Um, and yeah, man, looking forward to a few different things, man. My love for the business was dying. Then Eddie Kingston cut a promo on Collision. You know, Solo Sikoa decided that he's the street champion again. Gunther's back. Samoa Joe's a world champion, even if the circumstances around it aren't what most people enjoy. But yeah, man, I think I'm back. I think I think I'm back. So yeah, man. Plugs wise, on our end, on the members side of our YouTube channel, there's actually a couple of cool things from Ibu, also a little bit of Joe. So myself and Joe, of course, the Joe and Monty show we do every Friday. The latest one of those is up, and we spoke a lot about how wrestling and Joe Hulbert promotions are very much in sync at the moment. Um, then there's a video what Ibu recorded about a month or so ago talking, basically just kind of giving some context to fans about like AJ Lee, like because some people might not get because it's been so long, it's been like a decade, you know. Some people
Hmm.
don't quite understand why AJ Lee is such a big deal. Maybe they've pulled up a cage match and she doesn't have anything above a 7. Like, oh, what's the big deal with AJ Lee? So Ibid kind of like a good job of explaining like who she is, why she's important, how she came through like the WWE system in a time where it was very redundant to be a woman, you know, and talked about basically why she's a big deal. And then of course we got the retro review, AEW Dynamite episode 1 by Joe and Ibu. That's just a great piece of business, you know. There's nothing I can sell you more on than just telling you what it is, you know. Retro review, brother. Joe and Ibu doing their thing. Phil, what's the Grapsody? What's the latest on Grapsody, brother?
Yeah, you could subscribe to our YouTube channel. We just dropped our interview with Darius Flockhart. He is promoting the upcoming 2-year anniversary show for Ashe that's going to take place December 6th. I believe the information for the live stream should be on the website soon. Tickets are probably still available. Check that out. Of course, Grapsody every Saturday at noon Eastern
Yes.
on Fightful's YouTube channel. That's about it. It's been a very busy holiday week. It's exhausting holiday week.
Oh, you know, we're into December now, brother, so I don't know if it's going to quiet down too much until the end of the year. So, you know, everyone, people, make sure you get your Christmas presents, get your Christmas shopping done early, go to Costco early, get your meat early, get it all early. Don't get caught in the bullshit, people. And yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, talking TNA, talking Raw, talking Chris Jericho and the importance of his future TNA contract. And yeah, man, we'll catch you possibly tomorrow. I'm not sure if the girls are doing Girls on Graps tomorrow because I know Charlie's away and Anna's been so busy recently. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do next week. So, of course, we'll keep you up to date though. Thursday, of course, Tempest and Sat do the Dynamite review for members. So make sure you subscribe and become a member. And yeah, me and Joe back for Friday, of course, as usual. And yeah, man. Gonna try and do something with Ibu this week as well, but I'll keep you guys up to date. So, we won't keep you in the dark too much on that one. But yeah, man. From myself, from Phil, appreciate you guys for coming, hanging out. Please like and subscribe on your way out. Support Grapsody, support all our guys in our circle. You know, much appreciate you guys for being here. So yeah, man. See you guys next time. Peace.